Dusty here on a Wednesday afternoon in the fast lane. Carey Davis, Andrew Marsh, Jamie Rivers with you. Our guy, Anthony Stalter, he'll be out the rest of the week. Boys, they did it. Cardinals did it. They won one in a row.
Hey.
That is a great start.
Jamie, you can't win them all until you win one.
That's
so
right.
You gotta start somewhere. And that's the beginning of a winning streak.
Yeah, it was good stuff. You know, the Cardinals get the victory. Sonny Gray has a good start again for the Cardinals. It would have been better had he got one more strikeout. He only got 6.
Well,
he didn't have a strikeout until like the third inning, so that kind of hurt. That kind of sucked.
Last night as well. I lost.
So we get a good look last night at the new and improved Victor Scott. A lot of talk heading into last night's game. He got recalled, obviously with the injury to Michael Ciani. They wanted to replace some of that defensive ability, and Victor Scott certainly did that immediately. But he also brings a new swing to the majors. Ryan Ludwig has been working down in Memphis with Victor Scott and working on a more athletic swing and added a leg kick and just kind of let it fly, kid. Well, the reward is a home run.
First of his career.
First home run in his Major League Baseball career.
Pretty awesome. Like, it had to be a great feeling because there's always in the back of your mind, is this going to happen? Can I do this at this level? And to hit one out, to finally get your first one out, had to feel great. And it obviously helped your team win a game. It's not like empty calories, what we talk about, where it's late in the game, you're already up or you're down by a lot. It's your first one. It matters. It helps your team win a game. And it just has to feel good to see ball, hit ball, and make contact and watch one go over the fence.
So it's an interesting scenario for me because Michael Ciani came in much like Victor Scott. Really good defensively. Both guys are extremely quick out there, cover a lot of ground, and neither guy was expected to contribute anything much offensively. Yet Michael Ciani had turned into a good bat. Not great, but he's fine. And now Victor Scott comes back up, and before his first game, I think we said the same thing. Just defense first.
Right.
Don't worry about the offense. He'll bat in the 9-hole, just like what it is. Yet he smokes the ball, gets his first home run of his career.
Yeah.
So both of those guys, hats off to them for what they're doing. And I guess you have to compliment the Cardinals hitting staff. Turner Ward, whatever he's doing with those guys. Michael Ciani in particular is working, and Ryan Ludwig, who I guess he kind of floats around between the minor league teams. He had a week stop in Memphis, and obviously worked on some things with Victor Scott. My guy, Tommy Pham.
Got another one, didn't you?
Damn, baby. He's a two-pointer, too.
Good for you.
He's a two-pointer. But Tommy Pham gets on the board again with another rocket launcher of a hit. CD, my question to you is this. Is it concerning or not that your offense came from 2 new guys that weren't here a week ago? And the other guys just lied dormant.
Yes and no. Yes, because, like you said, those guys were not here a week ago, a week and a half ago. But no, because you brought them here because that's what you needed. Like, you needed that right-handed bat. You got that in Tommy Pham. Michael Ciani getting injured, not something that you saw happening, but you knew Victor Scott defensively would be outstanding because he has been. He already made a big play a couple of games ago in center field, diving play. And then you got the power from him last night. I think it's almost like this team is they're fighting to stay alive. They're doing the things that are needed to be done, but I'd be lying if I didn't say you're 3, 4, and 5 and 6 hitters. Only having 1 hit yesterday.
You're going right where I was
not
going.
A concern. Alec Burleson has cooled off tremendously. I want to kind of blame Marshy for putting the star label on him. Since we had that conversation, he has cooled off.
He was listening that day, went right to his head.
It was like, oh yeah, I am a star in St. Louis.
You know what? No, I'm taking it back. This ain't my fault. This is Anthony's fault. He didn't believe in him.
I don't think.
He said all week that guy's not a star.
Anthony's not here to defend himself, so it's Anthony's fault.
All right, that's rule number 3, right?
Yeah.
Or is it 4?
It's rule number 5.
5.
Always be here or you'll get blamed.
Okay, all right. I thought blame Anthony was rule number 4.
That might be 4B.
Okay.
There's 4A and 4B.
Okay. Well, but yeah, since we had that conversation, Alec Burleson has cooled off. Nolan Arenado got a hit yesterday, but Paul Goldschmidt did not. And Wilson Contreras went over. So I think that's more of the concerning part for me is if you don't get any production from 3, 4, 5, you can throw 6 in there as well because Burleson and Newbar went 0 for 4 combined. That's probably a little bit of a problem.
And Gorman went 1 for 4. Like, if we're just being honest here, like,
it's not good.
It's not good.
Let me say this. It's not good enough, right? Did you win last night? Yes. But you have a stretch here coming up versus some playoff teams, some teams that are number 1 in their division, teams that are fighting for wild card spots or in wild card spots solidified. You got the Pirates later on. Like, you got some teams that are right there with you and some teams that are ahead of you that are really good, and they're fighting for their playoff lives as well. So, good win last night. I hate to be the Debbie Downer, the negative Nancy. I don't want to be that.
Just because you're telling the truth doesn't mean you're the Debbie Downer.
I don't know if you know this, Jamie. Well, you do know this. The truth to some people feels negative. It feels like you're just picking and nitpicking.
Yeah. For me, it's just called the truth.
Well, I've had that conversation in my life at times where people, you're so mean, and I'm telling you the truth. You don't have to say it, so I should lie to you then. It'll make me feel better. But it's not true. If I tell you a lie, it doesn't make it the truth.
Better.
It doesn't make it better. We're just delaying the inevitable.
Yeah. CD, I'm going to ask a personal favor of you. Okay. Just don't ever lie to me.
All right.
I can handle whatever you're going to tell me.
That's why I appreciate you.
All right?
Yeah.
And I promise you, I will do the same.
I respect it in return.
Okay? Marshy, life lessons.
Yep. I always tell the truth.
Write that down.
Yeah,
okay,
write that down.
There's one guy on the team that might tell the truth too much.
Oh, that's where I was going to next. Our guy Sonny Gray on the bump last night. 7 innings pitched, 4 hits, 2 runs, 2 earned runs, 1 walk, 6 Ks, not 7, 6. Gave up a ding-dong Johnson. He was a little... Here, I said it in the office, he didn't have a strikeout till I think the 3rd inning. So it took him a little while to get going. Well, Sonny Gray, post-game, had this to tell us.
I needed that tonight. I didn't have a ton of energy. Going into it a little sluggish. And then once we responded the way we did, I felt like it was up to me at that point to show up and for us to go win the game.
So hearing that made me go back to the cryptic conversation he had a couple of weeks ago where he says, I know what I have to do. It's a lot. I have to do it, though. Maybe what he has to do is causing him to be sluggish, which is why he didn't want to do it in the first place, but now he needed to do it, and so now we're here. What?
Yeah.
Exactly.
I don't know.
Whatever that was that he said, I got to do it. You'll know when I do it. It's a lot. I got to do it. And so now he's doing it. But the result is, I'm tired as hell.
Yeah. I do know his preparation in talking to people down there. It's extensive. Like, he is a psychopath in the best sense of the word. If you're a manager or you're somebody, you're looking over and this guy's like the way he's preparing for the game, you're happy about it. Like, hey, that guy's ready to go. Now, maybe he's getting a little tuckered out. I don't know. But, Carey, in fairness to Sonny Gray here, okay? In fairness to Sonny Gray, there are many games in my career where I hit the ice in the first period and I knew I didn't have it. Yeah. I'm like, either sore from the night before or 2 games before or still working out whatever I did the night before, trying to figure things out. I get out there and you're like, you're going through the motions, and then it took like something big to happen. Usually you get hit.
Yeah. That wakes you up.
You get crushed because you're not yourself, and then after that, now you're pissed off.
Yes.
Now I'm back.
Yeah.
So I listen to Sonny Gray, and he's like, I'm sluggish. The problem with Sonny Gray is he just offers too much information. He could have said, hey, it took me a little bit to get going at the start of the game, but then once we got those runs, man, it really motivated me.
But I think that I think that's good that he is that honest, because he's telling you, I was a little bit sluggish.
We sit here and dissect it.
I think he and the coaching staff have to find that fine line. Like, okay, you need to prepare. This is how you prepare, but preparing this much has you exhausted by the 5th day when it's time to start again. So find the fine line. Find the thing that allows you to get the work in, but also get the rest. Because Jamie, rest is extremely important. No matter.
Some would say rest can be a weapon.
It is the most important. You got to get your sleep, people. If you don't rest, you're agitated, you're irritable, you're exhausted.
Could be low testosterone,
low T.
too.
You need to go to, where do you go for that?
And if you're suffering from those things, go visit my friends over at Mentality.
Yeah, that helps, right? Maybe we need to give Mentality a call for old Sonny.
Sonny, call me.
Get
I got
him going,
you.
right? Whatever it is, find that line and get to it, but don't go over it so that you're ready and don't need to give up a shot and then get your team to get you back in it to feel better, like to get going again.
I am happy that he is honest because I feel like we've talked all summer long and the fans are always saying we want this front office to be honest. So I don't mind him being honest. However, I also don't like my best pitcher going into a game late in the season when you need a win and he's sluggish with no energy and needed a home run from a rookie to get him back in the
That's
game.
a big home run.
Let's imagine it.
But he got going.
He did get going, and the rest is history, and he had a great outing. But heading into the game, like, what if this was a postseason game?
Well,
I'm feeling a little sluggish and
Well, maybe you wouldn't be.
low energy.
Marcia, I go back to
you make a great point.
I go back to what I said. Like, not every game I played over the course of my career did I feel like, oh man, I'm ready to go right away. And it's not that I didn't want to be ready. Sometimes your body, your brain, you're tired, you're stressed. Like, who knows what the hell's going on? Again, for me, Sonny Gray, just being as honest as he is.
And I appreciate it.
I appreciate it too. And we had a text saying, oh, yeah, you want his honesty, but then you criticize him. No, we didn't criticize him.
I just kind of
Well,
did.
you kind of did, yeah. That's okay, Marcia.
Just being honest.
Yeah, you're being honest.
And we just talked about that.
Yeah.
So, some people can't handle the truth. And that's a them problem.
That is a them problem.
It's not a us problem.
Well, either way, the Cardinals get the big victory. They've got the Rays again tonight. Looks like 6:45. Have Bradley on the bump for the Rays. Fetty Wap, our guy Fetty, back in there for his second start. Hopefully a little better than the start of his first start for the Cardinals. But we'll see. It's going to be an interesting game, interesting series. And we'll be talking about that for the rest of the day. Coming up next here, should you judge a prospect based on their hype? A lot of Cardinals players that fit into this category. We'll talk about that next on 101 ESPN. We all would like to save money on our car or home insurance, and it's always great to think about that, but having the proper coverage is more important than anything at all, and that's where Tracy Bibb and the Bibb Agency come in. First of all, they're going to battle for you. They're going to find the most competitive rates for you. But again, it's the coverage that's so important. And what Tracy does is she makes sure that you have the right type of coverage for when something happens, because it's not if, it's when something happens. And at that point, you're going to need Tracy Bibb and the Bibb Agency to walk you through the process, whether maybe it's a fender bender out there on the roads, maybe it's something to do with some bad weather and your roof is messed up. Tracy Bibb and the Bibb Agency are there to take the stress away from all that for you. They're not just a 1-800 number where you get somebody different every single time. No, they treat you like family. And I know this because I've been a customer with Tracy Bibb for over 4 years now and couldn't be happier. And I want you guys to be as happy as I am. And all you have to do is call 314-324-4260. Again, that's 314-328-4260. It's no fib. You're in good hands with Tracy Bibb. To the Fast Lane, 101 ESPN. Carey Davis, Andrew Marsh, Jamie Rivers with you here. My guy Marshy, he loves to brainstorm. He's a cute little kid the way he does all that stuff. But he came up with this one. Marshy, you could be my you could be my son, Marshy.
Yeah, I could.
Yeah, you could. Not that you are, but you could be.
Clarification out there.
Big clarification there.
Yeah,
Yes, absolutely. So my guy Marshy wrote down, should you judge a prospect based on their hype? Marshy, why don't you explain to us what your thoughts were here?
Yeah, so there's a lot of different prospects and different angles of looking at this, but a few names that come to mind, obviously, Alec Burleson, Nolan Gorman, Brendan Donovan, Jordan Walker, you have Mason Wynn, and we'll even throw Dylan Carlson in there too, even though he's not on the team anymore. But I was thinking about this. We look at Alec Burleson, we look at Brendan Donovan, and those are the guys that they've come up through the organization, and I think they're solid ball players. They're not superstars by any means, but
they're ball players.
They're good ball players. Like, I love Brendan Donovan and the way he plays the game. But you look at Jordan Walker, there's a ton of hype surrounding Jordan Walker, and he hasn't lived up to that hype, but he's also not a terrible ball player by any means. He's doing well right now in Memphis, and a lot of people, including us, have made a case that maybe he should be on the big club right now. Dylan Carlson had a lot of hype around him. He did not live up to those expectations. If he got some more runway, I'm sure he would have been a solid ball player, and we might see that with Tampa Bay. I just wonder if our perception changes on these players based on where they're drafted and how much quote-unquote hype is surrounding them. And that could go for any sport, not just baseball and the Cardinals. We could look at the Blues as well. We could look at football players like Justin Fields. You're always talking about Justin Fields. Justin Fields, one of the top guys in his draft class.
So you're right. There's two sets of rules, and it's fair or not fair, however you want to put it. But those players that are super hyped, that are the top prospects, that are your first-round draft picks and all that, there's hype because people can see the ceiling for those players. And when you match them up against their peers in the same age bracket or the same league that they're playing in, and they're head and shoulders above everybody, or their potential is head and shoulders above everybody, the hype is there. It's real. And that's the hardest part. When you're one of those players, Carey, to meet the expectations is very difficult.
Yes.
More often than not, I'd actually like to find the percentages on this of, each sport for your first 3-round picks, where they end up, how long they play, because the expectations for that first-round pick are way higher than your third-round pick, fourth-round pick. And so guys like Brendan Donovan, Alec Burleson, there's expectations, but no, if they don't make the big leagues, nobody's fired over it.
Yeah, I think that's the point. Like, if you're a first-round pick and you're expected to be, high ceiling type of guy, and you don't meet that criteria, or you're not able to reach that level, people do get fired. People do lose their jobs because they start comparing the other players in that draft, or other players, as you said, same age and in that age range, and try to figure out, well, why did we miss on this guy? But I think when you're talking about some of the greatest players or players and comparing them and where they are drafted or the expectation, sometimes people get it wrong. Like, you could draft a guy early and you just completely miss, or you could draft a guy completely late and everybody missed. Albert Pujols comes to mind. He went in the 13th round. There's a lot of people passed over a lot of times. Tom Brady, 6th round.
Michael Jordan.
Well, he's
still first round,
2 or 3. Sam Bowie was taken ahead of him.
Well, I'm thinking of the
high school, college.
The actor Michael B. Jordan.
No, not that guy. No, he was a solid high school football player.
Yeah, he was awesome in Creed.
I'm thinking of Nike, right? When Nike's if you've seen the movie, they talk about it we don't want Michael Jordan. What? We need to get these other guys. No, we want Michael Jordan. Yeah. There's something special there. But that's what I'm talking about.
Again, it's the recognition of what special is.
And then it's also on the player to be great. Like, Michael Jordan could have got a shoe deal with Nike, but if he's not Michael Jordan, Nike doesn't take off in that way. If Albert Pujols doesn't hit home runs in the manner in which he does, it doesn't matter. Then they say, yeah, you were a 13th round draft pick. It's playing above, what people considered you to be. But I do think that there is more pressure, more expectations on a guy that is a first round. It's like you get a Brendan Donovan and he's your starting left fielder and he can play second base. You're like, oh, this is a value pick. We got a great guy at this spot. But if he was a first round pick, you're looking at him like, he's a solid Major League Baseball player. What could we have gotten? And that's no knock against Brendan Donovan, but that's just the perception of front offices and managers and people that make those decisions. It's about finding a guy that has that high ceiling, a future a multi-all-star, a guy that's going to be a perennial all-star, a guy that can potentially be a Hall of Famer. Those are generally the guys you're trying to draft early in the first round. And everything after that, you're like, what we get is what we get. And if we get something great out of it, we had a good pick.
Yeah, I agree. And, I guess I still get a little bit perturbed with the Jordan Walker talk because he's only 22 years old. He's yet to really even scratch the surface of what he might be potentially. And I think, right now looking at it saying, oh, well, he didn't live up to the hype. Okay, let's just add one more word to that, yet. He hasn't lived up to the hype yet. There's a lot of guys that play full college careers, come out at 24 before they're playing their first games in the major leagues or even AAA. So Jordan Walker's got quite a head start on some of those guys. And with the way he profiles and the size and his athletic ability, once the kid figures it out, I think he's going to be just fine. Now, will he live up to the hype? That's to be determined. Or will he just be a solid big leaguer?
Yeah, I wonder if, we're talking about the Cardinals here. I wonder if the front office didn't label certain players like Dylan Carlson, for instance.
Cold dead hands.
Cold dead hands. Why do we need to say that? Because now you have a high expectation. We're not getting Juan Soto. Now, there's more probably to that trade. But we're not getting Juan Soto, who's proven it. He's a young player. He's proven it.
No, you're right.
And we're basically propping up Dylan Carlson to be this thing that he ultimately was not.
But so let's go back a little bit, too, because people get mad at the Cardinals or talent evaluation, all that stuff. If we go back and we look at where Dylan Carlson was ranked as a prospect in all of baseball. You look at Nolan Gorman, you look at Jordan Walker, you look at Mason Wynn, you look at some of these guys that were like top of the class. And it wasn't just the Cardinals that had them ranked high. It was like nationally, they were ranked in the top 30, in the top 20, in the top 100, whatever the case may be.
Right.
So that means that you're not alone on an island when you evaluated these players to be upper tier players. Again, it falls back on the player. Ultimately, they have to go out there and perform. Dylan Carlson never could sustain what he was doing. He finished third in rookie voting that one year, and everybody thought, okay, he's off and running now. But he couldn't sustain what he did in that short amount of time. And now Jordan Walker, I think this is why the Cardinals are slow playing Jordan Walker, is because I felt like they force-fed Dylan Carlson simply there was different reasons, but the pandemic.
Yeah.
And during the pandemic, the players that weren't on the Major League roster weren't even like playing real games. They're playing like simulated, basically schoolyard baseball. So how's that for your development?
Not great.
So the Cardinals kept him up for the most part with the big team as much as they could, where maybe had they slow played it a little more, like they're doing with Jordan Walker, maybe then the kid really develops. So it's tricky. Drafting and developing is not easy.
Not at all.
And the teams that do figure it out, even they have many misses. We don't talk about the misses. We always talk about the hits, right? But the Dodgers, whoever, name your top development teams, those teams still have misses along the way.
I think the important thing is to have more hits than misses, though. Like in baseball,
for sure.
Like you want to hit on those guys more than you want to miss, because that's how you continue to build your team and don't have to go via free agency. Don't have to trade for a bat at the trade deadline, because you are constantly developing your best players to kind of take over the role as those older guys start to usher themselves out, whether it's because they become free agents or because their production is slipping and it's time for them to retire, whatever the case may be, or because of injuries. Like, you want to make sure that you're hitting on those guys. But again, that's scouting, making sure you are correct in your assessment of that player. This guy, his ceiling is this. I compare him to this type of player if he reaches his full potential.
Yeah.
If he doesn't, he will probably still be an everyday player, but not a perennial all-star, not a future Hall of Famer. But his ceiling is, he could be one of the best players to play the game, or, a 4- or 5-time all-star type of caliber player. That changes the trajectory of your organization.
So we get a good text to the Air Comfort Service text line, 314-399-9646 from the Rehab Project. It says, Jamie, I think that means we don't have an issue with talent recognition, but more so the issues with developing the talent. I'm not going to disagree with that. With the way certain players have been handled over the last 2, 3, 4, 5 years, I don't disagree with that.
Well, I might push back on that a little bit, because we often talk about, we traded away Sandy Alcantara, we traded away Zach Gallen. Alex Reyes and Jack Flaherty were ranked higher than both of those guys. They dealt with injuries. Like, there is nothing Cardinals organization, anyone can do about somebody's body failing them. There's no way to predict that. There's no way to think that that's going to happen. It just happens. I think they have, and I think the Cardinals are starting to realize, like you said, we heard John Mozeliak talk about Dylan Carlson. He's like, I was wrong. And maybe we did push it. So with Jordan Walker, okay, we're going to slow play this. We brought him up last year. He did well. But we still have some things that he needs to work on. We're going to send him back down. We've been talking about Gordon Graceffo and McGreevy for a while. They've been kind of slow playing those two and trying to give them nibbles of opportunities, but not the full plate of a full meal.
Yeah.
So maybe they have recognized, we need to figure this out and go slowly. Mason Wynn is a guy that they scouted, drafted. He's playing outstanding. So I think that if you are a Cardinals fan, there are things to be excited about in terms of production. With Nolan Gorman, he is what he is. And I think they accepted that. And the part that bothers me now is they told us that's what they expected him to be, and now you're saying that's not good enough. That to me is a little bit strange. If you're going to play him every day. If he swings and misses, this is what you told me he's going to do.
Yeah.
When he swings and hits, it's going to go far, and you told me that was acceptable. So why is it supposed to be acceptable to us but not to your lineup? And that's the frustration that I have.
That's Carey Davis, Andrew Marsh, Jamie Rivers with you here. What's trending coming up next here on 101 ESPN?
101 ESPN Sports Center.
I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for a Sports Center update driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. The Cardinals defeated the Tampa Bay Rays last night by a final score of 4-3. And Victor Scott picked up his first career Major League home run, so congratulations to Victor Scott. The Cardinals will be back in action tonight, hopefully playing at 6:45 with Eric Fetty on the mound going up against Taj Bradley. We have What's Trending coming up next right here in the Fast Lane. I'm Andrew Marsh, and the Sports Center update is driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. See them at londoff.com. Chevy. Together we drive. Are you kidding me?
It's time to find out what's going on in the sports world with What's Trending Now. Brought to you by Goodwill. Donate a car and get tickets to the St. Louis Cardinals.
Welcome back to the Fast Lane here on 101 ESPN with Jamie Rivers and Carey Davis. I'm Andrew Marsh, and it's time for What's Trending. Gentlemen, Jim Harbaugh is in trouble with the NCAA.
He didn't do anything. Ask him.
Well,
That's what he says.
he is in trouble for COVID recruiting inducements, plus not cooperating with the investigation and provided false/misleading info. He has a 4-year show cause and a 1-year suspension from everything if he comes back to college football. And I believe this is separate from the whole sign stealing thing. I think maybe this has to go with the little cheeseburger he may have offered somebody.
Yeah, he had offered a kid a cheeseburger.
What?
At a restaurant or something like
you're
that.
not allowed to, but I can pay him $100,000, but I can't buy him a cheeseburger?
There are so many obscure rules for the NCAA.
Kid, never mind the cheeseburger. You'll pay for the cheeseburger. Here's $100,000 I'm giving you.
You buy my cheeseburger, son. How about that? Like, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. I don't think he's ever going back to college football. He's won a national championship. He had great success at Michigan, had great success at Stanford, and now he's back in the NFL, and he's going to probably have great success there.
He'll have success, and if he doesn't, he'll just go to a different team.
Yeah, I don't think it. I think this is just for show, for people to say we did our part.
Mm-hmm. I almost wonder if the punishment would be less if Harbaugh was still coaching. I feel like this is one of those like fake outs. Like they truly don't think he's ever come back to college, so we're gonna throw the book at him.
Put the hammer down.
Look at don't anybody else do this or else.
Yeah, nah.
And Harbaugh's like whatever.
Like, oh, that sucks.
But if he was still there, they'd be like, okay, he's got a 2-game suspension.
They already suspended him for 3 games last year.
Yeah, but he didn't do it.
Yeah, that's what he said.
Well, you're calling him a liar?
I'm just telling you that's what he said.
Are you calling him a liar?
I don't know. I wasn't there. I wasn't on the sideline.
He ain't calling him a truther.
I ain't calling him a truther.
I can't call him a liar.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Man, it's truther. Nah.
So why do we lean towards lie if we don't know the truth?
I don't know.
Carey, I can see it in your face. You think he's guilty.
I know. This is America, Jack. Innocent until proven guilty.
Really?
That's what they told us.
That's what they say.
It's not true.
I don't think that's true.
It's not true.
Not true.
The public opinion is the court of public opinion can
certainly sway a lot of
convict
things.
you.
Yes.
Quickly.
Yes. Or free you, depending on who you are.
Probably need a court system for that.
Speaking of America, Bears rookie tight end Theo Benedict. He is from Canada. He's from Toronto, and he went to the University of British Columbia. And on Hard Knocks, he did a little rendition of God Bless the USA.
Oh, yeah. And he stole one of my things.
He did.
Yeah.
He is a Canadian, and when I saw this, I was like, this must be a Canadian thing. He's singing the song in front of all of his teammates. His shirt is off, and then midway through the song, he does the whole basketball thing like he's about to go into the game, rips the pants off, and has an American, bald eagle Speedo
That Speedo's called the Freedom Bird.
The Freedom Bird.
The Freedom Bird. I own that
Speedo one.
I own that thing. I wore it on the 4th of July. I was like, hey, you want to see my Freedom Bird?
Is this a... I'll pass.
I immediately thought of Jamie, though.
I'll pass. I don't want to see the Freedom
Carey,
Bird.
you can hold the Freedom Bird.
I don't want to see it. Don't want to touch it. Okay. Take your word for it, actually. I'm going to turn this way as
feed
you.
him.
Definitely not.
Did you say feed it?
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely
Crackers.
not.
I don't know what they eat.
Nope. Nah, I'll pass.
Well, this Canadian, God bless him.
Yeah.
Is this a Canadian thing?
I don't know. Apparently it is. I'm proud of him, though. He represented well the entire meeting room.
You're proud. You're happy to see it.
Every guy in that meeting room, they were crying with laughter. They were like loving every bit of it.
Oh, man.
So good for him.
Guys, the Chicago White Sox finally won a game.
Oh.
They beat the Oakland A's. And according to BR Betting, if you faded the White Sox during their entire 21-game losing streak and you rolled over, if you bet $100 and you rolled over your winnings, you would have won $787,853.42.
That's pretty good.
Almost $1 million. Just by
got
betting
on.
on the White Sox to lose.
But so had you let it ride? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, so you take the $100.
But then you would have lost it.
I mean, you had to
at some
cash
point.
out.
You'd had to cash out. You'd had to know that they were going to lose, that they were going to finally beat the
How
Oakland
many
Athletics.
games in a row letting it ride would you then? Because I would
15.
leave my initial investment if it's $100.
Yeah.
All right. And they go 4 or 5 games, I'm probably cashing out, but I'm going to leave $100, maybe 200, because I've already won a bunch of money and let that ride for 3, 4, 5 games. Like this
Pull
is
it
the
out every
discipline.
night,
Yeah. I mean, you got to remember to pull out.
You should.
Yeah.
Because
otherwise
you lose your money.
It costs you.
Yeah, it costs you a lot of money. So I'm probably going to let it ride. I'm going to hang in there for a little bit longer.
You are.
And I'm probably going to let my initial bet, like once I start seeing, but the guy, who was the guy that had it was a guy that bet on the finals for 2 teams. I think he bet $100 is OKC and somebody else and ended up making almost $100,000.
Yeah, he had to cash out.
Had to cash out. I'm probably, if I'm betting against the White Sox and they are just losing and getting hammered, I'm probably going to keep going. Once I get to maybe 6 figures, I'm probably pulling out at that point.
Yeah,
Like you started with $100.
Quite honestly, the risk is way more
But
when you leave it in.
If you leave it
longer.
in long enough, you make $700K.
Yeah, but what if you leave it in too long and you get nothing?
You'll be mad that you lost that $700K.
That's right. So I tend to pull out quicker. It'll be for me like 4 or 5 games. I'll ride it hard and then I'll pull out. And then after that, ride it hard for 4 or 5 more games and pull out. I think that's the easiest way to win, Carey.
That's a good idea. Make sure you get your money out. You pull out in time. Yeah.
It's always safe bet
It
that
is
way.
best.
Yeah,
And if you are betting, you should use FanDuel.
Yeah.
we should. At least for now. One more, Marcy? Are we good?
No, I think it should be fine.
All right, one thing you don't want to miss out on is this Thursday at Helen Fitzgerald's. You can join me and Stella Artois and Hot Ones. We're going to bring you hot wings and hot trivia. It really is a fun night. We've had a few of these already, I think 4 total. Scott Rizzuto and myself have been a part of it. There's 3 rounds of 5 questions. These are all the winning teams, by the way. They'll be there up on stage at Helen Fitzgerald's. And every time they get an incorrect answer, they have to dip the wing into some hot sauce, and the sauces get hotter and hotter until we get a winner. And it's a lot of fun. There's prizes for people who just show up, too, in attendance. And there's free Stella Artois samples that are rolling around all at the same time. It's going to be a really awesome night. And again, that's this Thursday from 6 to 8 p.m. with me over at Helen Fitzgerald's. For more information, you can always visit 101ESPN.com. Carey, are the Eagles the biggest threat to the 49ers in the NFC? We'll find out next on 101 ESPN. round means Carey, we're going to have to put the Eagles in the on-deck circle.
Mm-hmm.
We got the lineup game. And tonight, I pulled up the starters. It's Fetty Wap, Eric Fetty for the Cardinals, and Bradley. Let's see, is he an RHP or an LHP? Marshy, I'm looking that up right now. Looks like he is an RHP.
Mm.
So right-hander on the bump, which means that things could look a little different for the Cardinals. A lot of lefty bats in there. Okay. So we got RHP, yeah, you know me.
Mm-hmm.
Gary, go ahead, please.
Show us Mason Wynn.
I'm watching the Futures game, and this thing's all over Instagram. It's like, this guy threw a ball 100 across the. That's awesome, but like, how many throwing errors does he have?
Shut up!
Okay, so
Can I just say that definitely stands out now after the play that Mason Wynn made last night to win the game.
what a play that was.
That was unbelievable.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Special.
Okay, so against right-handed pitching, Alec Burleson has been in this spot. Now, CD, you brought up an interesting thing earlier that Burley's cooled off a little bit.
Cooled off a little bit.
Tommy Pham has been really good in the two-hole.
Yep,
Some would say he's done his best work in the two-hole.
probably. I'd say you stay there.
All right, show us Tommy Pham.
What a shame.
Son of a... Let the guy eat, Ollie. Just let him eat. Or let him cook, as the kids say these days.
What are you doing? They say both.
Do they? Mm-hmm. I don't think my kids say let him eat anymore.
Like Ezekiel Elliott used to do it. He's like, let me eat.
Yeah, but now the boomers say that, apparently. Let him cook.
He's cooking.
Or I'm cooking. Yeah.
What are we
Hey,
doing?
Dad, don't let him while he's cooking. No, he's not. He's running. Yeah, but you don't understand. All right.
You think this is Burley?
All right, go ahead.
I don't know. Show us Alec Burleson.
You know, kind of closed my eyes and swung at it and did what I wanted to do.
Burley to the rescue!
So, Tommy Pham, he's going to be 5 or 6 on this, I think.
think this is
I think this
Contreras?
is Contreras here.
He's catching.
Yes, because it's a right-handed pitcher.
All right.
Pages' right bat comes out of the lineup at that point.
Let's do it.
So I think this is Wilson Contreras.
Good too.
Show us that, please.
DH.
No.
Chismet. Check.
And although I strongly disagree with this,
Tell us why, Jamie.
because he hasn't hit anything in a long time.
He's a former MVP.
He is a former MVP.
So say his name.
I don't really
With
want
respect.
to. No.
You-
Well, I respect him. Let's not get
No,
things
say his
confused.
name right now with respect so we
Tell
can.
me what to do.
I know you don't like that.
Don't tell me what to do. All right, fine. Show us Paul Goldschmidt.
There you go.
You are so wrong.
Thank you, Ollie.
I told you it wasn't him.
Is it Tommy Pham here?
Hadn't clean up
Well, he's the only one hitting the ball hard.
in front of Nolan. If you think it's time, I would probably. Ooh.
Nolan Arenado? Really?
If Tommy Pham isn't, why the switch?
I don't know why you do anything.
Maybe he's not playing today.
Who?
Tommy Pham.
No chance. No chance.
You've seen crazier things before, haven't you, Jamie?
Yeah, but I will lose my mind if that happens.
All right. Well, you say Tommy Pham.
I don't want to say Tommy
I don't think
Pham.
it's Tommy.
I don't think it's him either.
You think it's Nolan Arenado?
I think he's going right
Show
back
us
to the well.
Nolan Arenado.
You're wrong.
Okay. So it's not Goldie. It's not Arenado.
Tommy Pham. Go ahead.
All right. Show me Grand Slam Tommy Pham.
Sorry, guys.
Why do you do that? You do that a lot. You say,
I like to
no,
be right.
You go, I don't.
I like to be right.
That's fine.
I
but,
do.
but you say, go, yeah, go, Jamie. Yeah, I like it. Go ahead, go. And then Susan happens to say, I told you, I knew it.
I'll work on it. I have a few things to work on in
That's
my
not a
life.
very good teammate. You tell me to go for it, and then you laugh at me. What's wrong? Who do you have here now?
Who do you think it is? Who do you think it isn't?
Well, we know it's not Goldie. We know it's not Arenado. We know it's not
Pham.
Tommy Pham.
Newt Bar?
Could be Gorman.
It ain't Gorman. Gorman is batting so low. It could be Brendan Donovan. He's batted
All right, go
cleanup. You think it's Brendan? No, you don't? I'll do it. Show us Brendan Donovan.
Donnie.
Hey, this headband's pretty cool.
See, I knew it.
Good job, Jamie.
All right, now the 5-hole. This is really going to be a puzzling one because is Goldie playing? or did he get the night off? Is Arenado playing?
You think Burley is at first base?
He might be. Especially if Gorman comes into this against a right-handed pitcher. Now Donovan goes to the outfield. Maybe
So
Tommy
your
Pham.
outfield-
Maybe Tommy
that's what I
Pham isn't
said.
playing.
Your outfield probably
Or
is
maybe he's
Newbar,
DHing.
Scott, Victor Scott, and Donnie.
Yeah,
That could be your outfield.
could be. So the 5-hole, listen.
Nolan Arenado.
I think
it's Nolan.
Nolan Arenado, please.
He's a Gold Glove winner and perennial All-Star.
Oh, listen to Mr. Gold Glove over here.
Come on.
Okay.
So I think Burley is at first base, which means Goldie isn't playing. I think Donovan is at second base. Is in left
Well,
field.
this is where I think 6, you could have Gorman.
I think it's Newt. I think it's Newt.
Newt?
Yeah. I think this is Newt Bar. Facing a righty.
All right.
Show us Lars Newt Bar.
What makes you think
Yeah, nice
she's
job,
a witch?
Carey.
Whoa, she turned me into a newt. A newt.
So as
Not better.
as of right now, our outfield will be Newt Bar, Donovan, Burley. Unless
Newt
Unless-
Bar, Donovan, Scott.
Well, we got Newt Bar.
I think
Donovan,
I think Burley's at
Burley.
first.
Okay. And then 7 here. I think this is Gorman.
That's what yes.
Yeah. Show us popcorn, please.
What the H is wrong with you guys?
All right. So we need a second baseman. We need a first baseman.
Is Tommy Pham here?
We need a center fielder.
What if Tommy Pham's your DH?
Oh, I guess we forgot about DH.
He's got a lot of RBI. Show us Tommy Pham.
I think Tommy's off tonight.
I'm gonna lose my mind.
You get ready. I think he's off tonight. Who are we missing?
A lot.
Burley, Donovan, Newt.
Well, Scott.
Matt Carpenter at DH.
Oh yeah, it could be the MARP.
Yep.
I could see that right here. So, but then let's work it in reverse here.
Scott, Gorman, and you need a DH.
Okay, go with MARP here. Go ahead.
Show us Matt Carpenter.
Behalf of the veterans and new leadership.
Salsa, where's the salsa? No salsa.
Okay, nice job. I do think this is the popcorn guy.
I
now.
agree.
Show us the popcorn guy, please.
Get your fresh organic popcorn.
Get your popcorn ready.
And then Carey, if you want the honors.
Get ready to lose your mind. Show us Victor Scott in
Yep.
second.
Great Scott. Too fast, too fast.
Focus. Speed. I am speed.
Checking your watch to see why.
Just looking at the date and the time. So next time I see Ollie, I can remember exactly when this moment happened. Run it for us, Marshy.
All right, leading off the shortstop, Mason Wynn batting second, playing first base. Alec Burleson batting third, catching Wilson Contreras. Your cleanup hitter, left fielder, Brendan Donovan. Batting fifth, playing third base. Nolan Arenado. Batting sixth in right field, Lars Taylor Tatsui Newtbar. Batting seventh, the DH, Matt Carpenter. Batting eighth, second baseman Nolan Gorman. And batting ninth, the center fielder, Victor Scott the second.
Go foul, go foul!
I don't believe what I just saw.
Home run.
All right, so I hit last night with Tommy Pham. Anybody else have any luck? No. Okay, so what does that put us at now, Marshy? I know you're still way ahead of everybody.
So I am at 24 points. Jamie, you are now at 18 because Tommy Pham was worth 2 points. Carey, you have 11 points, and Anthony still has 8.
What do you have, Marsh?
24.
24.
I have 11. Oh.
Yeah. All right, Marshy, you're leading off. What do you got for us?
I mean, the odds of this happening 2 times in a row. 2 times on a Wednesday? Or no, it happened last Tuesday. We're going to do it again. Give me Tommy Pham off the bench.
That's what I was doing.
I was thinking maybe
doing it
Goldschmidt. I actually think this will be an interesting conversation if it gets to this point where Paul Goldschmidt and Tommy Pham, both right-handed batters,
Yeah.
both on the bench tonight.
Yeah.
Which one?
Which one
It's
is
not
going,
even a question.
It's got to be Tommy
It's
Pham.
absolutely Tommy
And
Pham.
I was thinking if it's for Matt Carpenter, you'll have Matt Carpenter just go to the bench. Tommy Pham comes in as the DH because if you do bring Goldschmidt in, I don't know if you'd bring him in and have him be the DH. You'd probably slot him at first and then move somebody out of the game.
If you pinch hit for the DH, don't you lose the DH? I think that I'm pretty sure.
No, I don't think that's true.
I don't know.
No, you can swap out your DH.
That's what they did last time with Tommy
they?
Pham.
Yeah.
He pinch hit for Matt Carpenter, if I'm not mistaken.
But once your DH is out, like you can't. That's why, like, when Contreras is DH, he can't catch.
Correct.
Like if Pages gets hurt,
because you can't move the DH.
You can't move the DH, then you lose him.
Pretty sure somebody got texted.
Something like that.
Anyways, I'm picking Tommy Pham, and let's see if I can just put this thing away tonight.
I absolutely hate your pick because that's what I was going to do. I really hate it. So let's see here. Let's see. I'm going to go with Alec Burleson. I'm going with Alec Burleson. He's a 2-pointer. I got to keep trying to chip away at Marshy's lead here.
Give me the other guy off the bench, Paul Goldschmidt. I need 10 points.
He's not playing. Watch.
Late in the game.
Full day off for him.
Late in the game.
Watch. Ollie won't play him. All right. Anthony, did he send in?
He did. Anthony has his picks, and his home run hitter is Wilson Contreras.
Okay. And Marshy went with Pham. CD, Andrew. Okay. All right, there's your lineup. There's your home run picks. And looking at this lineup, CD, without Paul Goldschmidt in the lineup, it's got me thinking. What does your best Cardinals lineup look like moving forward for 2024? And what will it look like in 2025? We'll get into that next here on 101 ESPN. Welcome back here to the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. And having gone over the lineup game and kind of evaluating things got me thinking, Carey and Marcy and I were talking about this before the show started, is at some point for the Cardinals, because the playoff race is so tight right now, I don't anticipate it changing. I think this is going to go right down to the wire. And at some point, the Cardinals and Ollie Marmol, John Mozeliak, Michael Gersh, throw whoever you want into the bucket on this one, they're going to have to field their best lineup.
Okay.
They're going to have to not take into consideration contracts, feelings, tenure, none of that stuff. You're going to have to put your best lineup together. Let's build that lineup.
Okay.
What does it look like? So if we're redoing the lineup now for fun, and we're putting our guys in here, and for the purpose of the exercise, we're going to say that Jordan Walker is available because this is past that date in September where you can call up some guys, expand the roster. Michael Ciani is off of the IL.
Okay.
Okay, so he's available as well. Who's your leadoff hitter?
Mason Wynn.
I agree. Marshy?
Playing shortstop.
I also have Mason Wynn as my leadoff hitter, shortstop.
So now this is the next one here is difficult because you think automatically it's Burley. But if this is a left-handed pitcher on the bump, I think it's Tommy Pham.
I got Tommy Pham in my lineup at number 2 right now.
Okay.
I'm trying to manage this out. I'm trying to put the best people out there, obviously. This is a must-win situation. No, you got to win this series. You got to take care of business.
You got to take 2 to 3 games.
I got Tommy Pham playing left field.
Okay. Marshy?
I still have Alec Burleson batting second, DHing.
What do you say?
I've got Burley.
Really?
You'll see why.
All right.
So Burley, because of our 3 people, 2-1 vote. Burley
playing left field
first
or DH?
Base.
Oh my goodness, Marshy, what do you have him playing?
I have him as a DH.
I have him playing first base.
I'm gonna have to go with DH.
You'll see. We'll play this game.
Can we all have our own lineup?
Yeah.
All right.
We have
You
DH.
got your...
I'll put DH, first base DH, just for you guys.
All right.
In the 3-hole,
Wilson
Contreras.
Yep.
And
he's catching.
And he's catching. Yes.
Correct.
He'll be catching.
Okay.
The 4-hole is where I had Tommy Pham. That's where I plopped Tommy Pham in there.
I got Goldie playing first base.
So let's have the talk right now. Does Paul Goldschmidt, is he the best player available?
He's playing.
I don't play him.
He's playing.
He's in my lineup, too.
Yeah.
He ain't batting fourth, though.
He's batting fourth in my...
Guys, you're going to have a really big problem here in a second.
Well...
because you're going to have to put Arenado and Goldie in this lineup somewhere.
Mm-hmm. They're both in it.
They're not on mine.
They're both
there
in mine.
There is no way on God's green earth you're paying people $25 million.
Carey,
I'm just...
For the purpose of the exercise, did you not hear me earlier?
I understand.
I said take the money away, take the contract away.
But you really can't. Like, though, they're even still, with all of the complaining, the lack of power, the lack of hitting for average, the lack of OPS, whatever you want to call it, those 2 players are playing every day, especially if it is a must-win situation.
Yeah.
Because of who they are and what...
What has Goldie ever done in the clutch?
Well, hey.
What has he ever done?
You could say that probably about both of them. However...
Tommy Pham hits.
And Tommy Pham is in my lineup. That's number 2. he's number 2.
Spoiler alert, he's my cleanup hitter.
For me, he's my cleanup hitter, too.
He's my number 2 hitter. I need somebody on base. Because if you put somebody...
I just don't have Goldie playing.
I got him starting and playing first base. He's a Gold Glove defender. And he's going to run into one. If he got to start early, then start early. If you got to get to the stadium earlier, then get there early.
The problem is you're hoping.
I'm going based off of...
If you're going based off the information, Paul Goldschmidt's not in your lineup.
I disagree with that.
Well, let's keep going through and then
I got Goldie batting fourth.
I got Tommy Pham batting fourth.
I have him batting fourth as well. Tommy Pham, that is.
Who is 5?
5 for me. I was kind of torn on this one. I actually went back to Arenado.
I got Arenado
because he's hitting for average. I'm hoping Tommy Pham can clear off some of the bases as the cleanup guy, and then I want to get guys back on base. So I thought Arenado here coming back at 5.
I have Brendan Donovan batting 5th. second baseman. So you have righty, lefty, righty, righty, lefty. At least for my lineup.
Yeah. I don't hate Donovan. I don't hate him there. Same concept, really.
Yep.
Carey?
I got Arenado batting fifth.
All right. I'm actually going to go with Donovan for mine. I like that better because I like Arenado better at the 6.
I also have Nolan Arenado batting sixth.
Yeah.
Playing third base.
And what's your lineup, Carey? What do you got?
In sixth, I got Jordan Walker playing right field.
Whoa.
Who has been on fire in the month of August.
He hasn't played in the majors.
You told me I could get him.
You can.
All right. Well,
but
that's where I'm
based
going.
off of what we know, the information that we know.
Well, I'm telling you what.
You can't just make up a whole story.
Brendan Donovan in his lineup, and Brendan Donovan, what have we seen? He's batting 200 in the major leagues. So are we going off of what we see?
We're going off of OBP.
You got Brendan Donovan. I'm not Brendan Donovan. Nolan Gorman.
Nolan Gorman?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't have him on my lineup.
Didn't you say Nolan Gorman?
No, goodness gracious, no. He's not in my lineup.
I thought Nolan Gorman.
That's why I was confused.
I even said Brendan Donovan. I was right. Nolan Gorman
at second base.
Okay, I heard Nolan Gorman.
See, now you should say sorry to him, please.
I apologize, Marcy.
Thank you. That's
See, I listen when people.
Did you?
No, just now. Not then, but now. I have selective hearing, Jamie. You know about it.
Yeah. Oh, I know all about it. Absolutely. So, all right, I've got Arenado at 6. Marcy's got Arenado at 6. Carey has him at 5. So he's my third base. Donovan, second base. Tommy Pham. He's going to be in. Wait. I don't know that. Shortstop. Tommy Pham in left field. Okay, so my lineup, I need a center fielder. That, to me, is going to be Michael Ciani at number 9. So I'm going to just go ahead and plop him in there at number 9.
Mm-hmm. I got Ciani there as well.
Yeah.
I do too.
I think he gives you the best chance. I know Victor Scott just ran
He's
into
still
one
on the bench
yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
Fine.
But if Ciani is not hurt, I got Scott. Like if Scott Ciani.
It's a combination of one or the other.
Yep.
Okay. So then, what are we missing here?
I got Burley as my DH at 7.
Oh wow, that's really low.
Are we going off of what we're seeing? Like I think because on one hand you all say, well, Goldie had Burley hasn't been hitting well the last month. He hasn't been hitting as well.
Yeah, but
I won't say the last month.
It's 3 weeks.
Last 2 or 3 weeks.
But Goldie's only had 2 or 3 weeks of good hitting this year.
I trust Goldie to run into one because he is an MVP. He, Marshy, is a star, some would say.
I don't know.
And I'm going based off of my best offense and defense. Like we can't just neglect the defensive side. Burley playing first base is not as good as Goldie playing first base.
I agree.
So
especially if this is a go home.
This
like
is a win or go home. We have to have. We can't just focus solely on the offensive side and say, "Oh, Goldie, you got to sit this one out." Hell no, no sir. He's playing.
I'm mad at him. I'm not playing
well,
him.
you're gonna be mad and be in your feelings as much as you want.
Don't you be anywhere?
You can be in your feelings.
No, I don't want you anywhere in my feelings at all. Okay. Seen that looking.
Who do you guys have batting 7th?
7th,
I got
Lars.
Burley.
I've got Lars Newbar.
I have Newbar as well.
Newt isn't playing on my team.
See, that's horrible.
No, he's not.
I see. This is where I was thinking. Okay, do I want Jordan Walker? Or do I want Lars Newbar? Jordan Walker is doing well in Memphis.
He's doing outstanding.
Yeah, I haven't
in Memphis.
I haven't seen it though this season. Not that I haven't seen it from
this season.
Well, I haven't seen it really from anybody this year, but except for Mason Wynn. But yeah, I got Newbar in right field.
See how you sound when you say that? Did he sound enthusiastic? I got
no. He didn't sound very enthusiastic.
This is a win or go home situation. We got to win. And you said, I ain't got Newbar in right field.
All right, I'm going to make a switch here, okay, guys?
Let's hear it.
Burley's going to be my DH.
There we go.
And I'm going to put Paul Goldschmidt at 8.
That's where I have him. I think we have the same lineup, Jamie.
All right,
Paul
he's in the
Goldschmidt
lineup.
at first base. So here is my lineup, and we can go down the line here.
I think we have the same lineup now.
I have Mason Wynn at shortstop.
Okay.
Alec Burleson, DH. Contreras catching. Tommy Pham, left field. Brendan Donovan, second base. Arenado, third base. Newt, right field. Goldie, first base, Siani, center field.
We wrote the same lineup.
Identical. Identical.
Carey, it's the same damn lineup.
I have Mason Wynn leading off shortstop, Tommy Pham batting second, left field, Wilson Contreras third, playing catcher, Goldie in the cleanup spot, playing first base, Nolan Arenado third base batting fifth, Jordan Walker right field batting sixth, Burley as my DH batting seventh, Brendan Donovan at second base batting eighth, and Siani as my center fielder batting ninth. And my thought process is Brendan Donovan is going to get on base. You know who can bunt him over? Siani. Get him to second. Mason Wynn coming up. Got an opportunity to put some runs on the board. Maybe Brendan Donovan runs into one and lines it into the gap. Now he's at second base. You know who's going to bunt him over to third?
You know who's selling us a used car right now?
Nah, I'm just telling you. We need a
Torino with no wheels.
We need
on
a
it.
run. We need a run. It's playoff baseball. We got to score. Small ball.
We need multiple runs.
Hey, Carey, I got an easy solution for this. Easy solution. Marcia, can you put a poll out there for us today?
Get your poll out.
How can you make a poll with our lineup and then Carey's lineup? You can do that, can't you?
It's going to be too much.
It might be a little too much.
He can't put all that on his poll, Jamie.
Yeah.
Poll's not big enough?
I actually think it's too big. Actually, it's too big for the internet.
You can do it.
I can try, but
we'll try. And if we are able to get it out there, we'll let you know, and you and our listeners can vote at that point.
I only get 25 characters per choice.
There you go. Can't get his poll out there. Too much.
It's too much.
Too much for his poll.
We'll figure out a way to make it work.
Nathan McDaniels, I appreciate you. Carey has the best lineup, not even close. It's Carey with a C, but that's okay. I got your point.
Oh, Nathan's wrong.
Tell our listeners.
Honestly, I don't hate Carey's lineup at all. I think the problem is that I don't like any of these lineups because I don't think they're that good.
They're fine.
Who's pitching?
Well, Sonny Gray.
Okay, he can't pitch all 3 games.
No,
games.
It's easy for me. It's Gray, Fetty, and then I go Gibby.
You go Fetty over Gibby?
Yes.
You have.
What have you seen from Fetty?
Okay.
Wow, it's one game.
One game, bro.
Okay.
He's got us under 4 ERA for the season on the worst team in baseball.
Listen, they're still the worst team.
The worst team in baseball.
We'll see what he looks like. Hopefully, he gets it together tonight.
I don't like the way you don't like old Fetty
I
Wap.
don't disagree. 1738. Fetty Wap is a good guy, the rapper. I don't know what Eric Fetty has.
Whatever happened to Fetty Wap?
He went to prison.
Did he?
I think so. For stealing or something.
Good guy.
He has one eye. 1738. He only had one eye.
I know. All right, those are our lineups. We didn't get into the 2025. We'll find a spot for that later today, or maybe we'll get into that tomorrow. We're going to figure out a way to try and get these poll out there and see what we can do. But when we come back, time for you guys to join the show. Air Comfort Service text line 314-399-9646 or the Air Alliance YouTube channel, The Snake Pit. Get in there. It's Sports Six Pack coming up next, 101 ESPN. My friends over at Anheuser-Busch are jumping into a really fun trivia night. They've got Stella Artois that has partnered with Hot Ones to bring you hot wings and hot trivia questions to the St. Louis area. And it's time for the finale. We've had 3 events so far, so the winning teams will join us at Helen Fitzgerald's from 6 to 8 p.m. on Thursday night, so tomorrow night. And it's a lot of fun to get the teams up top there. There's 3 rounds of 5 questions each time. And when the teams get the answers wrong, they have to dip their wings into the hot sauces until it's the hotter and hotter and hotter every time they get a question wrong. Now, obviously, the team with the most points at the end will win. But it is a great time, a lot of fun. And they do it so right at Helen Fitzgerald's. They get the nice stage there, sound system, be myself, and I believe Reed Lowe, former Blues player, he's going to stop by as well. We're going to have a lot of fun. And people who show up, it's not just to watch. You can get involved, too. When we have the breaks, a little intermission, you can go dip your wing in the hot sauce, see which one you like, which one you don't like. There's also free Stella samplings throughout the night. It really is an awesome time that you're not going to want to miss. So please stop by tomorrow night, August 8th, at Helen Fitzgerald's from 6 to 8 p.m. for the Hot Wings, Hot Ones, Stella Artois Trivia Final. It's going to be a blast. You're not going to want to miss it. If you're looking for any more information, you can always visit 101ESPN.com.
It's time for the Fast Lane to answer your sports questions.
I want to ask you a bunch of questions, and I want to have them answered immediately.
Asking me all these weird questions.
Answer the question.
Answer the question.
Answer me!
The Sports Six-Pack is now.
Welcome back here to the Fast Lane, 101 ESPN. It is time for the Sports Six-Pack.
Question number 1.
All right, this first question comes from the 314. If the Cardinals miss the playoffs again this year, does Mo and Ollie still have a job next year?
I don't know. Maybe they reassign Mo somewhere in the organization. I don't think they fire him. Maybe the Chaim Bloom era starts early and, John Mozeliak becomes the special assistant to the new Pobo to finish out his tenure. And I don't think Ollie goes anywhere. They gave Ollie that extension for a reason. I think they're going to have him see out his contract here. I don't see anybody getting fired.
Yeah, I don't think he'll be fired. I think they still will have a job. This has been a tough season. I mean, you've had lack of production from some of your better players. You had to send down one of the guys that you thought was going to be an everyday player in right field. You figured some things out in center field, which you didn't think Victor Scott or Siani would be your starting center fielder.
True.
You've had to make a trade for a pitcher. You had to find another right-handed bat. Like, this has not been what those two expected this season to be. And so I don't think you fire them because it's essentially hasn't been, good enough from the player's standpoint.
Question number 2.
From the 217, Carey and Jamie, do you ever see yourself, once your kids are out of the house, going back to coaching, whether it's high school or minors or professional?
So I've been open about this. I've had lots of opportunities over the last 5-6 years to go coach in the American League. I was offered an assistant coach job at the NHL level, as well as some junior hockey options as well. I just don't want to do it. Like, it's not that I don't want to coach. I love coaching. Like, if I could be told, hey, by the way, you're going to have a 7-year deal or 6-year deal to coach the St. Louis Blues as an assistant coach, I would take it and I would run. But that ain't happening, first of all.
Not 7 years.
And even if they give me 3 years, it ain't guaranteed. Like, it's guaranteed contract, but it ain't guaranteed that I'll still be working. If the team has a bad year or bring in a new head coach, you bring in the new guys. I finished my career by bouncing from city to city to country to whatever. I'm not doing that again. Even if my kids are out of the house, I don't want that. I enjoy doing what we do here every day on 101, and TV gig, don't know where that's headed. Who knows where that's headed, but if that stays around, I love doing that. I'd rather do those things and be in and around the game than to be worried about being fired, and then you're on the coaching carousel and you're never settled again.
There is, I agree with that. I also had an opportunity for coaching, and it's something that I have thought about. It is harder. My children are my younger children are still young, of middle school age, and my oldest is in college. But it's something that I have thought about, kicked around. But the moving part is the part that is a lot. I have a friend, a close friend, who is coaching professional football right now. He is, I think the number is 7 teams in like 12 years, something like that.
That means you're moving
California,
7 times.
Virginia, Texas, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, just all over. Nevada. Like, he's been everywhere, and Tennessee. Like, he's been everywhere in a span of about 10, 12 years. It's a lot. Like, it is a lot to ask of your family, your significant others.
You're basically a gypsy.
Yeah, you're working.
Don't unpack everything.
Correct.
And it's hard work, which I'm fine with that. I mean, like, I've got 3 jobs right now. The hard work doesn't scare me off at all. It's just the moving around constantly. And then even if your kids are growing up out of the house, there's still a disconnect when you don't live in the same city with them.
Yep.
Because no matter what, you're seeing them less than you would. Even if they live outside of the home, my kids will drop by 3-4 times a week. They stop in for a Sunday dinner, like whatever it is. That ain't happening.
Yeah.
That's not happening. That's not the way I want to live my post-career life.
To add on this question, you mentioned your kids. I'm sure there's parents out there that are listening to this right now, maybe thinking the same thing that I'm about to bring up. But if you don't agree necessarily with your kid's coach in whatever sport they're playing, and you're like, I've seen this isn't what I signed up for, and you try and teach them yourself, like, how do you go about that? Without being disrespectful to the coaching staff that are helping your kids and putting their time and effort in. How do you go about that, knowing or thinking that what they're learning is not the right way?
Well, if they're playing hockey, I probably know what's going on.
Yeah, obviously.
At that point. And that was funny because Keith Kachuk, I'll never forget when I first started coaching my 2 boys, I said, I actually hadn't started. They just started playing. And I told Big Walt, I'm like, I'm not going to coach my kids. I just want to be a dad. I just want a hockey dad. He started laughing. He goes, oh, okay, buddy. He goes, just watch. You'll watch one practice, and you won't be able to be a hockey dad anymore. And it literally happened. I watched one practice. I'm like, no, this is not going to work for me. Meanwhile, but my first year helping out, I was an assistant coach because I didn't want to be the head coach. A tremendous dude. His name's Brian Deutsch. He wasn't a hockey guy at all. Loved the sport of hockey. One of the greatest dudes ever. And I remember he's like, okay, you're the assistant coach, but he's like, you're going to run all the practices. And it was great. We had an awesome year. The kids got better. But my advice for me, I coached my kids all the way up until they were done playing. And I probably would have done it differently now. I should have backed away maybe a little bit. When they got older is when I knew we had to hit the gas, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's time to really be hockey players. But I think that voice should have been somebody else's voice because I may have been a little too intense.
Yeah.
And who knows? You know what I mean?
I'm kind of going through that right now. I am no longer coaching high school football, but I decided to coach my son's 7th grade team because I watched his 6th grade team. And I would have to walk away sometimes. I watched practice. I stopped going to the practices. I couldn't do it. I couldn't stomach it.
It's tough.
It was tough to watch. And so in the same kind of situation like Big Wall,
good one.
Yeah, good one. It's hard to know the game and see your children or even other people's children playing a game and maybe not being taught the correct things. And so you kind of want to take over. Now it puts more on you, but teaching them the right way. For me, that to me is the important thing. And sports like hockey and football are sports where you can get hurt if you're not doing it the correct way, if you're not being coached or taught the right way. So for me, it was something that I just had to do.
So to put a bow on this before we go to break, and then we'll continue the Sports Six-Pack, is to further the question, if my kids, whatever, were playing a sport, even hockey, where I wasn't the head coach, I would encourage them after a certain age. Like if they were 12, 13, 14, I'd say, hey, you need to request a meeting with the coach. I will sit there with you, but you're going to talk to your coach. You're going to ask him what you need to be doing better, how you can work on it, what are some drills, what are the things you can do at home. And I'll sit there just to be your support. But if they're 16, 17, 18, I take it upon myself to tell them that they better talk to the coach and figure it out, because that's the coach's job, and they don't need to be getting a bunch of information from other areas.
Yes. Last thing I would say, as a coach, if you are a parent of, a parent of a kid that is playing, talk to the coach. Like, figure out why your son or daughter is not playing. Generally, I've had parents ask me, and I will tell them, your son doesn't know what they're doing, and I don't feel comfortable putting them out there and getting them or someone else's child hurt. Your son is not better than the person that is in front of them. Your son, I used to have 3 rules. Either it was 3 things that cost you not to play. You didn't know what you were doing, there was somebody better than you, or you didn't come to practice. I eliminated the last one because if you don't come to practice in high school, you're off the team. Like, we don't have time to, waste with people that don't show up and are not engaged in what we're doing. You leave high school, you come from school and go straight to practice. If you go straight home, then we have no reason to talk.
Here.
Yeah, there's nothing to talk about. So I eliminated that one, but it's usually either someone is better than you, which is competition. Everybody in this world has competition for the job that they're at. There were multiple interviews for the job that you got. You got hired because you were the best person. Mm-hmm. Let's not eliminate competition in the world. And number 2, if they don't know what they're doing, I don't want to risk getting them hurt or telling somebody else's parent, hey, your son Johnny got hurt because Jimmy ain't been here and he don't know what the hell he's doing.
He doesn't know what his
And I'm sorry that your son's arm is hanging off. My apologies. No, hell no. I'm not telling your son. I'm not telling somebody's parent that. So it's those two things.
All right, we got a couple questions in there. We'll carry over the Sports Six-Pack. That was a really good question. Sports Six-Pack, again, coming up next, 101 ESPN. If you're looking for replacement windows, or maybe it's just time, you're looking at your house right now, the windows are old, you can see that they've got that ring around them, and then maybe the efficiency is no good. Get new windows. Head over to Window World. They're simply the best for less. They are the preferred window of your St. Louis Blues, and they have a window that they use a double strength glass that you just don't find in ordinary replacement windows, which increases the durability and certainly helps the efficiency for your home with its heating and cooling. Keep more money in your wallet. That's the best thing about it. Window World, they also offer a lifetime warranty that covers all the parts, the glass breakage, and the labor. And right now, they're offering 36 months, same as cash financing with approved credit. So if you are in the market for windows, now is the time to do it, and now is the time to call Window World. When you call them, tell them Jamie from 101 sent you in there. Their number's 314-993-1800. Again, that's 314-993-1800, or you can always visit them at windowworldstlouis.com.
101 ESPN Sports Center.
I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for a Sports Center update brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling. The Cardinals, they beat the Tampa Bay Rays last night by a final score of 4-3. They'll go up against them once again tonight with Eric Fetty on the mound, going up against Taj Bradley. First pitch is at 6:45. If you missed anything from today's show, make sure you go to 101ESPN.com or check out the free 101 mobile app. Just head to the podcast page. You'll find all of our interviews and full shows there, and it's all brought to you by Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers. Speaking of interviews, we'll talk with Brad Thompson in the 4 o'clock hour and Benjamin Hochman in the 5 o'clock hour, so stay tuned for those interviews. But we have our Sports Six-Pack Part 2 coming up next. I'm Andrew Marsh, and the Sports Center update is brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling, an independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer.
It's time for the Fast Lane to answer your sports questions.
I want to ask you a bunch of questions, and I want to have them answered immediately.
Asking me all these weird questions.
Answer the question.
Answer the question.
Answer me!
The Sports Six-Pack is now.
Welcome back to the Fast Lane, 101 ESPN. We're going to continue our Sports Six-Pack. Andrew?
Question number 3.
All right, let's look at the 636. Do you think if St. Louis had a basketball franchise, that franchise would outsell the Cardinals and or Blues in attendance percentage?
Oh, I don't know about that.
What year are we talking? I mean, are we talking right now?
But you got to imagine that if we got a team probably wouldn't be very good either. I don't think that happens. I think there's a big appetite for basketball in the area. I just don't know if they outdraw Cardinals and Blues. I mean, unless they have a really good team and they go on a run, like all those things, like City SC in their first year.
Yeah.
Like if they have like something like that happens, then I could see certainly people in St. Louis who are sports fans wanting to be a part of it.
I don't know. That's a good question.
I just don't see them outdrawing.
I think you would have, because you would get to see like LeBron James, or you would get to see Steph Curry when they come in town. You would get to see some. I think that those games draw, a lot of fans as well. So
yeah.
There's a chance, and if your team is decent, it's only 41 games
outdrawing
at home
overall, not just for a couple of games.
For an entire season,
like the percentage-wise. Yeah.
For an entire season, I think it would depend on how well or poorly those other two teams are performing at that time. Like right now, I think the Cardinals probably aren't drawing as well as they have in the past. And if you had, we saw it last year.
Do you think you have the same demographic of sports fan that are going to the ball games?
Probably. There's probably some crossover that fans that want to see Cardinals, Blues, and basketball. But then you have some fans that don't like hockey. You have some fans that don't like baseball. You'll have some fans that don't like basketball. So there will be some fans that cross over and do all three, but then there will be some that just do, those specific sports.
Do you think St. Louis could handle a basketball team? Like, this is a really unbelievable sports market.
Yeah.
I've been here for a long time. I love that about St. Louis. But if we added another professional team here, with City SC now combined with that. So City SC, the Blues, and the NBA would be competing they all overlap their seasons. The NBA and the NHL run at the same time.
Correct.
And City SC still has some overlap there as well.
Yeah, it would be the end of their season. Still. Beginning of
and then the
basketball,
Cardinals.
hockey season. Well, their season will be done.
But sometimes it isn't.
Sorry.
I've been there where I've had to wait for the Cardinals game to be over before broadcasting the Blues game.
Yeah, that's usually like...
So I just don't know. Do you think the city of St. Louis, from a fan standpoint and corporate dollars, could handle one more?
I think so.
I do too.
Yeah. Okay.
People like new stuff. Now, if the team is terrible for like 5 years, I think maybe it would wear off, but... I could totally see St. Louis wanting a basketball team.
All right. I'm here for it.
Question number 4.
From the 636. I like this question. Besides money, what were your top 3 priorities to you when choosing a contract in free agency?
So, opportunity to play. First of all, opportunity to play, strength of the team overall, and then coaching. That would be, you could flip-flop good team, like a good team or opportunity to play. And sometimes you had to pick, because I've told this story before when I was a free agent and the Phoenix Coyotes at the time offered me a 3-year contract. And I called my agent. I'm like, let's go. Let's party. 3 years. Let's go. And he told me, he says, well, the Red Wings also have an offer, but it's for 1 year. And I said, well, let's never mind that. Let's go to the area. Let's go to Phoenix. Yeah. I'm going to play a lot. And he goes, okay, yeah, all that's true. But the team's going to be terrible, and you'll probably be traded in year 2 because they're going to try and get younger. He says, where the Red Wings, when they sign players, they sign guys that they think can play on their team, make them competitive, and win championships. And odds are, if you do your job, you get rewarded there. So I took my agent's advice, and I signed with the Red Wings. Yeah. End up playing 3 years in Detroit because of it. And obviously playing on winning teams.
Worked out. Winning is, I think winning teams is if we're taking money out of the conversation, a place where you can play the organization and are they a team that is trying to win? Like, are they actively trying to, or are they, not planning? You're going to play a lot, but you're going to lose a lot, which is extremely depressing. Like, you don't even want to leave the house. You're like, go to work. I gotta go to work, instead of I get to go to work. So I think those two things, winning, opportunity to play. And it depends if all things are equal. Where are you playing? Like, what city are you in? Is it if you have a family? Is it a city that you want to raise kids in, or is it a city that if you're single, I enjoy? Yeah, I know state taxes. If you're single, I enjoy the nightlife down here in Miami. I don't know.
That's random.
Miami is a good. And no state taxes. You got
no state taxes.
Best of both worlds. Huh?
So the one thing that's tricky though too is, based on where you're at in your career, sometimes your choices can be different. Like as you get older and you're still trying to prove you can play, sometimes playing on a winning team isn't the answer because you won't play a lot. Right. And if you don't play a lot, you can't prove to anybody that you can play. Correct. So you sometimes lean towards a lesser team playing a lot more to show everybody, hey,
I still got it.
Come trade for me at the deadline because I still got it, So that is a great question, Marshy. Next question, please.
Question number 5.
From the 314, when on vacation, do you take a break from sports since it is work, or do you follow everything just as much as when you are in town working?
No, I shut down completely. Like, my phone comes to the pool or the beach with me for emergency purposes, or to play the Bluetooth speaker that I got music going on. I unplug from sports. That's the whole point of the vacation, is to get away from, whether it's running my company, whether it's, no offense to you guys, just getting away from the everyday 4 hours of radio. And then on top of that, if there's TV too, I'm unplugging. I want to be at the pool. I want to be at the swim-up bar. I want the cabana boy down on the beach bringing me cocktails every 15, 20 minutes. That's where I'm at.
I agree. I think just getting away from it all, because it is our job, sometimes it can become overwhelming to always have to know what is going on and who is doing what, and to be able to get away and kind of separate yourself from it. It was a point, my first year, doing this full time, where I was like, I'm sick of sports. Oh my God. Never thought I would say that. Because you need a break. You need a break from it to not have to keep up with the box score with the Cardinals or the Blues, or, nationally what's going on, and staying in tune. It helps to kind of decompress and reset.
I think I'm just instinctually curious about what is happening in sports, but I'm not like you guys where I just unplug. But, at the end of the day, I'll kind of come back. I'll do my thing, and then at the end of the day, I'll come back and be like, all right, what did I miss? Because I'll have some downtime if I'm, laying down. I'm like, let me just surf the web for a little bit, see what I missed.
I'll do that. Like in the room or whatever. I'm just going to chill. Yeah, but I'm not, devoted to it.
Like, I'm not at the pool, oh, my God, what's the score of the Cardinals game? Unless the game's on and I'm, at a pool bar or whatever, swim up bar. At the game's on, I'm like, oh yeah, we'll put the game on and whatever. But I'm just, I don't know. I think if there's one sport where I'm like, oh, goodness gracious, I need to know what's going on. Even if I am on vacation, it's football.
Yeah.
Strictly for fantasy football. Because I don't want to be the guy that is left behind.
You can't unplug that.
You can't unplug during football season.
No.
And it's only, one game. There's one game a week for each team. I'm not unplugging for that. But like Cardinals, Blues, if I missed a game for whatever reason, whatever. Especially now if the team was good. What? The teams are good and they're really good. I'm like, I'm dropping everything right here. I'll even not go on vacation and I will watch this game because I want to watch greatness.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. All right, Marcy, one more. Quick one.
That ain't the case.
You got one more for us?
Yeah.
Question number 6.
Close out the 6-pack.
Good job finishing the pack.
Yeah, thank you.
From a 314, why not lock up Mason Wynn now for the long term?
Well, I would. I don't think the player will do it right now.
No, I would wait one more year if I'm the Cardinals. Just to make sure that, what you're seeing now it carries over. Now, maybe mid-July, maybe All-Star break next year. You say, you know what, Mason, let's talk.
Let's talk. And he says, go chase yourself.
And he's, preparing for the All-Star game. Let's have a conversation, buddy. I think I would wait one more year. And to his credit, maybe he would. Maybe he would say, nah, I'm good where I'm at.
Yeah.
But I think as a younger player to get money and guaranteed money at that moment, you're probably looking at it like, yeah, I could do that.
See, if the Cardinals offered Mason Wynn like an 8-year deal right now, he's 23 years old, I believe.
Oh, is he 20? Is he that? I don't think
22?
he's 23. He might be 20,
21, 22?
21, 22.
Okay, he's in that range.
Yeah.
Take him to 30. Let's say take him to 29, 30 years old, somewhere in there. And I don't know what the average AAV would have to be. What does the highest paid shortstop make? 20-some million? 30 million?
He's 22 right now.
He's 22. So 8 years, take him to 30. I'd give him an 8-year deal. I'm not going to talk about money because I don't know enough about the market right now. But you give him fair market value for 8 years. I think Mason Wynn would take it. And I don't think you're going to go wrong. Like, it's not like he's going to all of a sudden just wake up and suck defensively.
I agree with that.
Does the bat continue to do what it's doing? That I don't know. It could get better. It could get worse. It could stay the same.
8 years as a shortstop.
Yeah.
What do we have? Let's see. Corey Seager is making $35 a year.
Yeah, but Corey Seager's resume before he got that contract was much different.
Where is...
Like, what's Bobby Witt Jr. making?
I can't find it. Let's see. We'll figure it out.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Either way, if I'm the Cardinals, I would do it. Even right now, off of a 1-year sample size, I just think there's still so much upside that you're seeing, including even right down to the last play of the game last night where he makes a great grab and then fires a 100-mile-an-hour one over to Goldie at first base.
He is making, right now, 2.7, but he signed a deal that's going to allow him to make $30 million in the next few years.
I don't see Mason Wynn as a $30 million player. He's not the Bobby Witt Jr. Caliber
Signed
for me.
11-year, 288.
But I think an 8-year deal, bring him till he's 30 years old, and then evaluate it from there.
8 years at 150. That too much for you? 10 years at 150.
150 million?
Yeah, that's not enough.
I don't know if he'd take that.
Nah, I don't think so either.
No, we'll let the smart guys figure that out. All right, that was your sports 6-pack. When we come back here, we bumped this earlier. Carey had something here about the Eagles being the biggest threat to the 49ers in the NFC. Well, that's if the Eagles can get along to do it. We'll talk about that next here on 101 ESPN.
Hey, it's Carey, and if you are a contractor or you own a business or you got some things in your home that you need to get rid of, well, let me tell you about Scrap Mart Metals. They are great for recycling things. If they are tailor-made for your business and can help you meet your schedule and budget, they understand that job site cleanup for contractors is a mess. It can be a mess. If you set up a business account with Scrap Mart to recycle that metal, it's one less thing you'll have to do. You'd be amazed at how the scrap metal adds up, and it can truly help your business's cash flow. If you're a plumber, heating and cooling, excavator, or any type of contractor, Scrap Mart Metals can make your job easier. If you own that heavy equipment, it breaks down over and over again. It's frustrating. At some point, it's going to break down for good, and you got to get rid of it. They'll haul your equipment to one of their locations and get you a check the same day. Or if you want to haul it away yourself, they have 3 convenient locations: Valley Park, Peevely, Jonesburg. If it's metal, they will buy it. It is recycling made easy. They offer a convenient drive-on scale and have the highest payout. You will always get top dollar for your scrap metals. Just reach out to them at scrapmartmetals.com and see about how you can get going. My guy Lucas can talk to you about setting up a business account. That's scrapmartmetals.com, and tell them Carey sent you.
Welcome back to the Fast Lane. 101 ESPN has your chance to win a pair of lawn tickets to see Green Day with special guest Rancid next Thursday, August 15th at Hollywood Casino Amphitheater. A limited amount of tickets remain for the show. Find all the ticket details at 101ESPN.com and a bonus chance to register to win tickets to Green Day. We have a trivia question for you so that you can win Green Day tickets right here today, right now. Marshy.
Yes.
What is our trivia question?
Our question is, which Chicago Bears rookie featured the Freedom Bird Speedo on Hard Knocks with that we talked about earlier today? What is that player's name?
All right, text that answer to 314-399-9646. Again, that's 314-399-9646 for your chance to win Green Day tickets. Not going to want to miss that. All right, Carey, are the Eagles the biggest threat to the 49ers in the NFC?
Well, yeah, I think so. I think you're looking at a team that stunk it up towards the end of the season last year, a year removed from making it to the Super Bowl and losing to the Kansas City Chiefs. Last year was a year that we thought they were going to be better. And for the majority of the season, they were. Offensively, they were very stagnant, but towards down the stretch, they really started stinking. 5 or 6 games that they lost.
That was bad.
And it was not, it wasn't pretty. It just didn't look like a team that had it figured out. And they lost some key components from last year's team. But I think this year, the addition of Saquon Barkley, new OC and Kellen Moore, I think they'll be more explosive. I think they'll be more balanced. And when I'm looking at this team, I think the only thing that stops them from really challenging the 49ers is how well does Jalen Hurts play. The year before, 2 years ago, he was an MVP candidate, finished second. Last year, again, was good, solid, made some poor decisions with the ball down the stretch and turned over, had some really, really bad turnovers. But when I'm looking at this team, like I said, offensively, I love the addition of Saquon Barkley. I think it's going to make them more balanced, and I hope Jalen Hurts and A.J. Brown can be on the same page, because I felt like A.J. Brown was complaining a little bit more than he should have last year. No. I didn't like it.
It's hard to believe.
But this team, for all of they've done, again, losing Jason Kelce is going to hurt. Losing Fletcher Cox is going to hurt. But they are the team, in my opinion, that has the best chance to take on the 49ers and beat them.
So what do you think of the reports coming out of Eagles camp that there's a disconnect between head coach Nick Sirianni and Jalen Hurts? Like, how will this impact their team?
That to me is... So Nick Sirianni is one of the names that have been talked about on the hot seat.
Ooh,
he had to fire two coordinators after both of your offensive and defensive coordinator left the year before for head coaching jobs, and you had to replace those guys, and then you fired those two guys after the season. I don't know how this impacts. I can tell you this: Jalen Hurts is going to be there. He signed a deal.
Oh, he's got a big deal.
He's going to be there for a while. And if you're Nick Sirianni, you almost have to find a way to get along with your star player. You have to figure it out. And I don't know if there's conflict there that is going to cost him his job, or it's going to cost the Philadelphia Eagles to not perform well enough. Again, the best thing you can do as a head coach is hire coordinators that do a good enough job to where you can remove yourself from that environment and just be the manager of the team. In-game situations, when to go for it on fourth down, when to, dial up and let your coordinator say, hey, we want to bring pressure on this, when to go for a fake punt. Like, all of the things we get on Dan Campbell about.
Dan Campbell, yeah.
Those are the decisions that you should be making. So I think he has finally, got his guys in the right place. I don't know that the friction, or if there is friction between those two, if that will cause any issues on this team this year.
So Sirianni's background is more defensively, right? Mm-hmm. So, Carey, why would he be sticking his nose into the offensive side of this game?
Well, I think as a head coach, that's your job. Like,
is
your job,
though?
Yes.
Your job is to recognize what the strengths and weaknesses are of each person on your staff and your players are.
Your job as a head coach is to be the manager of all things football.
Yeah, but if you're a defensive guy, Carey, and then you're sticking your nose into the offensive scheme.
You know what he has done? He was an offensive coordinator in Indianapolis. He has been a defensive coach, but he is mainly offense. He has been offensive since he got into the NFL and a little bit in college. So he does understand, obviously, the offensive side of things, and maybe.
And I'm not saying he's inept at this or anything.
Correct, but I think it's just hiring the right people. Kellen Moore, in my opinion, is a good hire. I think he's going to. You okay?
Yeah.
No, don't fall.
Chair snuck up on me.
I think he's going to do a good enough job for this offense, and again, be balanced, because that's what this team needed. They, in my opinion, they threw the ball too much last year, but it was because of A.J. Brown. Like, he wants the ball every play. As a coach, your job is to manage personalities. Like, it's not, he doesn't have to call the X's and O's. Leave that to the OC. Leave the defense to the D coordinator. But manage those personalities. AJ, we can't throw the ball to you every play.
Yeah.
I love you. I think you're amazing. You're going to be one of the best players in the league this year. You ain't getting the ball every play. Look around the room. We got Saquon Barkley here. We got guys that can get the ball and make plays. So we can't afford to have you pouting, complaining, and wanting the ball every single play. So for me, Devontae Smith is going to have to make big plays for them. They got guys that can do some things. And so for me, I think they are the closest team that has a chance to challenge the 49ers. And the 49ers, we were talking about it yesterday. Marshy brought it up. Christian McCaffrey is dealing with a calf injury right now.
Yeah.
So, and they have their own issues that they're dealing with. Brandon Ayuk, Trent Williams. Right now, the Philadelphia Eagles are in a great place, great team, great structure. I think they are, in my opinion, the team that can unseat the 49ers in that NFC.
He's Carey Davis, Andrew Marsh, Jamie Rivers here. We need a new Gauntlet contestant, so please text in the word Gauntlet to 314-399-9646. We got the Gauntlet coming up next here on 101 ESPN.
4 warriors, 4 categories, 1 challenger. Can you survive the Gauntlet?
It's 4:02. Your time check brought to you by Clarkson Jewelers, official provider of Rolex jewelry. Marshy put his poll out on Twitter earlier. We have our lineups from earlier today, what we think are the lineups the Cardinals should have coming down the stretch. Marshy, what is it, underscore?
Yeah, it's underscore Marshy Marsh underscore.
There we go. Check it out on Twitter/X. Cast your vote. We'll give you the results of that before we leave today. But first, let's head out to the 101 hotline. We're joined by Cade for the Gauntlet. Cade, how you doing, bud? Good, good. All right, you know how this works. You've got Marshy, myself, and Carey Davis. Who would you like to compete against today?
I'll take on Marshy today.
Whoa, speaking of Marshy Marsh. All right, well, before Marshy hightails it out of here, Cade, tell Marshy to spin that wheel.
Spin that wheel, Marshy.
All right, Marshy's going to spin that wheel. There we go. And now Marshy's going to skedaddle, as my grandma used to say, skedaddle out of the room. At some point, he'll get out of here. Got to watch his hamstrings. He's getting a little older. Yeah. All right, Cade, what category were you hoping for against Marshy?
I think baseball.
All right, well, guess what? Your wish is our command. It is baseball today.
Sweet.
So here's how it works. 4 questions. Each question's worth 2 points. If you use the options and you answer the question correctly, it's worth 1 point. And if we're tied after 4 questions here in the Gauntlet, we will have a tiebreaker, and we will have a winner today. Cade, are you ready to go?
I'm ready.
Okay, again, the category baseball. Question number 1. Nearly 2 weeks ago against Washington, Dylan Cease pitched the second no-hitter in San Diego Padres history. Who threw the first?
I think it was Joe Musgrove. Final answer.
All right, thank you.
All right, question number 2. Pedro Paez recently had his 13-game hitting streak snapped. In 1993, another rookie catcher for the Cardinals went on a 16-game hitting streak. Name him.
I think I'll need the options there.
Is it Eric Pappas, Steve Lake, or Mike DeFelice?
DeFelice.
DeFelice, excuse me.
We'll go with the first one. Final answer.
Okay. Eric Pappas it is. Question 3. On this day in 1978, Johnny Bench smashed his 300th career home run. Bench and which other player are the only Reds with 2,000 hits and 300 dingers?
Dude. Take the options, please.
All right. Is it Joe Morgan, Joey Votto, or Barry Larkin?
I was just going to go Joey Votto, so I'm just going to stick with that. Joey Votto, final answer.
All right.
Question number 4. Oakland A's closer Mason Miller has broken the pinky finger on his non-pitching hand after pounding a training table in frustration. Miller was also the winning pitcher in last month's Major League Baseball All-Star game. But who locked down the save that night in Texas?
I think I turned it off before the end. I'll take the options on that.
Is it Emmanuel Clace, Clay Holmes, or Garrett Crochet?
Clase, final answer.
All right, let's get our guy Marshy back in here. Cade, how you feeling?
I was excited about baseball, but after those questions, I'm not feeling too great.
All right. Well, our guy Marshy's coming in here. He's got his game face on. He's got his water. Putting on his headphones here. Marshy, how was the Cone of Silence today, buddy?
It was good. Just talking with Mike Ryder.
Yeah, it's nice to see Mike Ryder at work for a change.
Oh, he works every day.
No, but
look at that. He's giving us the your number one feel.
Yeah, that was for you
Mike,
too.
We think you're number one as well. Okay? All right, Marshy. Hope you packed a lunch.
All right.
Category today is baseball.
All righty.
Question 1. Nearly 2 weeks ago against Washington, Dylan Cease pitched the second no-hitter in Padres history. Who threw the first one?
Joe Musgrove. Final answer.
Okay, you sure about that?
That doesn't matter now. I already said final answer.
Question number 2. Pedro Pages recently had his 13-game hitting streak snapped. In 1993, another rookie catcher for the Cardinals went on a 16-game hit streak. Name him.
Options.
Is it Eric Pappas, Steve Lake, or Mike DeFelice?
I'll go with Mike DeFelice. Final answer.
Question 3. On this day in 1978, Johnny Bench smashed his 300th career home run. Bench and which other player are the only Reds with 2,000 hits and 300 dingers?
2,000 hits and 300 dingers. Well, obviously Pete Rose comes to mind, but I feel like that's almost too obvious. I don't know if he hit that many home runs. Man, another name that comes to mind is, I believe, Barry Larkin. Is he a Red? Let's use the options.
All right. Was it Joe Morgan, Joey Votto, or Barry Larkin?
I gotta go with Barry Larkin. He was one of the names that came up. It might not be him, but I gotta stick with Barry Larkin.
Okay.
Final answer?
Final answer.
Final question. Oakland A's closer Mason Miller has broken the pinky on his non-pitching hand after pounding a training table in frustration. Miller was also the winning pitcher in last month's Major League Baseball All-Star game. But who locked down the save that night in Texas?
Oh, man. Was it Emmanuel Clase? Or was it? Oh, man. Oh, jeez. Was it the Duvall guy? I'll say Clase. Final answer.
Alrighty. Let's start at question 1.
I'm not feeling too good about this one.
Nearly 2 weeks ago against Washington, Dylan Cease pitched the second no-hitter in San Diego Padres history. Who threw the first? Cade, you said Joe Musgrove. Marshy, you said Joe Musgrove. Answer is
Joe Musgrove.
But neither of you needed the options.
Nice.
2-2 after 1. Let's go to question 2. Pedro Pages recently had his 13-game hitting streak snapped. In 1993, another rookie catcher for the Cardinals went on a 16-game hit streak. Name him. Cade, you took the options. You said Eric Pappas. Marshy, you also took the options. You said Mike DeFelice. Carey, answer is
Eric Pappas.
Eric Pappas. All right, let's go to question 4. Oakland A's closer, Mason Miller, has broken the pinky finger on his non-pitching hand after pounding a training table in frustration. Miller was also the winning pitcher in last month's MLB All-Star game, but who locked down the save that night in Texas? Cade, you said Emmanuel Clase.
Yeah.
Andrew Marsh, you said Emmanuel Clase. Carey, answer is?
It is Emmanuel Clase.
Nice.
But
no!
Marshy did not need the options.
Oh, that's right.
So we are all tied up at 4. Man, Marshy panicked there.
He did. He got nervous.
Final question. On this day in 1978, Johnny Bench smashed his 300th career home run. Bench and which other player are the only Reds with 2,000 hits and 300 dingers? Cade, you took the options. You said Joey Votto. Marshy, you also took the options. You said good old Barry Larkin. The third option, which was available, which nobody took, was Joe Morgan, as we heard. So if it's Votto, Cade wins. If it's Larkin, Marshy wins. Carey, answer is?
It is Joey Votto.
Cade?
You have chosen wisely.
You got him, buddy. You got him on the old Joey Votto.
Good job, Cade.
Thank you.
All right, Cade, you'll be back tomorrow to take on Carey or myself. But great job today, man.
Thank you guys for having me. I appreciate it. That was fun.
That's awesome. You did a great job, man. We'll talk to you tomorrow. Have a great evening.
All righty. Thank you.
Good job, Cade.
Marshy, you did good. You did good. You get 4 points.
Yeah, I'm not. Obviously, losing sucks. I think everyone would agree with that. But I went with my gut with Barry Larkin because he's on my MLB The Show team. So I had to stick with him, stick with my guy, and it didn't work out. It happens.
Hey, you know what? It was the right play. It just didn't work.
Sometimes, sometimes your guy,
it's not
5 for 7 against a pitcher, and you send him out there, and it just doesn't work.
Yeah, it just doesn't work.
So,
I mean, he hasn't seen the pitcher in 5 years, but it just doesn't work,
Didn't work today.
Sometimes that's how it works.
It's the right decision, though, right?
Sure.
Okay.
I think the thought process was there. Although Joey Votto
would have been my choice with the option.
Yeah.
So okay,
I think so with
because
the
of
options as well.
his tenure there, how long he was there, and he had some really big seasons.
He did.
So that would have been my only thought there. And he's Canadian, so I would have rolled with that one as well.
And also, obviously, the way that the questions worked themselves out, that looked like the question that I missed to lose it, where, I could have done better on another question. So, it is what it is.
It's how we set it up sometimes, Marshall.
It is what it is.
Yes.
I'll be better next time.
I like that about you.
Like that thought
Full
process.
ownership.
Good job.
Good job. By the way, you're doing a fantastic job today.
Oh, why is that?
No, I love your hat. Looks great.
That is a nice hat. I like the corded. Yeah,
Not
nice.
enough is said about the plain white T-shirt.
Yeah.
Some people can bring it, others can't. Marshy, you are doing a great job with that.
Mustache is fantastic
It
as
is
well.
great.
You took the wax and
it didn't even
curl
need it
up.
today.
You
That's
didn't
how
need
good
it. It looks amazing.
By the way, coming up next is Prove Me Wrong with the Honorable Andrew Marsh here on 101 ESPN.
People are talking about Window Nation. Their customer, Vicky, says, we couldn't be happier. This was a great experience. She is just one of over 33,000 five-star reviews. That's because Window Nation is all about value. And this August, they are giving you a great value during the Window Nation anniversary sale. Right now, buy 2 windows and you get 2 free. There's no limit to how much you can save. Plus, you could save even more with no interest and no payments for 24 months. If you act now, you get an additional $250 credit as well. Window Nation values your satisfaction in their quality, service, and affordability. That's why they stand behind their windows with a lifetime warranty. Window Nation was also recently ranked highest on Forbes' list of best window installation companies. So you can trust Window Nation for that high-quality, affordable window. Stop paying more than you have to. Hurry. The sale ends August 31st. Schedule a fast in-home estimate right now at 866-90Nation or visit them online at windownation.com. They can install that window in 1 day or less, and again, you get a lifetime warranty with the window. Reach out to them at 866-90Nation or visit them online at windownation.com.
Prove me wrong, kids. Prove me wrong.
Fastlane here 101. It's that time of the week where Carey Davis and I, Davis and Rivers Law Firm, and we're minus Stalter. We took his name off the wall. He's not here for the week.
Like Suits.
Like Suits. We may add it back next week. We are presented with Prove Me Wrong scenarios, and Carey and I have to prove our case to Honorable Judge Andrew Marsh.
Are you gentlemen ready?
Yes, sir.
Sure.
First one from the Water Boy. Prove me wrong. The Pittsburgh Steelers will have a losing record.
I mean, this is hilarious, right? The Pittsburgh Steelers have a losing record. Have you never heard of Mike Tomlin? He doesn't do that. He's never had one. He's never had a losing season in his entire career as a head coach. So, I mean, when you're talking about a franchise that is a six-time winner of the Super Bowl, that's the trophy that wins it all, Jamie.
Preach.
An organization that knows how to build champions and how to win games and just does things the right way, not like some of these other organizations. There's stability in Pittsburgh. 3 head coaches in like the last 60 years. Like it's amazing how well run that organization is. So yeah, no, the Pittsburgh Steelers are not having a losing season. I said this before and I'll say it again. There's probably never been an organization to get rid of 3 quarterbacks from the previous year's team and be better. And the Steelers did that this offseason. They removed their 3 quarterbacks, brought in 2 guys that have started and had success. One of them a Super Bowl champion, the other a phenom from Chicago. This team is not losing or having a losing record.
Yeah, quite honestly, all you have to say is 2 words. Mike Tomlin.
There you go.
Never had a losing season.
Never.
You can't fight the facts.
Yeah, you can't go against that.
I think the worst thing the Steelers have done as of late, not counting this offseason and bringing in Russell Wilson, was changing the name of their stadium.
Yeah.
Why would they do that?
You know, Heinz Field is,
Money.
we still call it Heinz Field. I don't even, Acrisure. Yeah, nobody cares.
Nah, nobody cares.
No offense to those guys and gals.
Good point.
From the 636, prove me wrong. The Cardinals will miss the playoffs this year, but next year, with some free agent help, this offseason will win the division.
Okay, first of all, I'm not even worried about next year at this point. You've got so much great youth coming up through the pipe that next year will take care of itself. And as far as this season's concerned, have you seen the standings? The Cardinals are right there in the mix. You got the pitching that Sonny Gray last night came out, had a good game. Got Eric Fetty. He's going to come out. He's going to shove. We know that. His first game, that was a tough one. You meet the team on the road, all that stuff. Now, he's going to get the start tonight. He's going to shove. You're going to get great defense from what you have in the field. Tommy Pham, who will be coming off the bench tonight, and I hate to say it, but he's probably going to hit a home run for my guy Marshy over there, give him another 10-pointer. Tommy Pham has been a big difference maker for this club. I think this Cardinals team knows what's at stake here right now, and I feel like they finally have the competitive guys and the Contreras and the Pham and the Mason Wynn and the Brendan Donovans that are going to carry this team into the playoffs. So I see the Cardinals being a playoff team this year. When all is said and done, and then next year, I think they're automatic to win the division.
Man, I feel like we should table this one. I'll give it to you.
Yes, you will.
I'm feeling nice today.
Oh, thank you, Judge.
From the 217, prove me wrong. Nolan is playing his way out of what was a surefire Hall of Fame career.
Okay, let's not get carried away here, okay? This guy has, 9 or 10 gold gloves. I think he's got 7 platinum gloves. He's a Silver Slugger award winner. When you compare his defensive ability to other Hall of Fame third basemen, let's just take Scott Rowland for that matter. Scott Rowland, Nolan Arenado, in their primes, I mean, it's a coin toss who you would rather have on your team. And we know the impact that Scott Rowland had for the St. Louis Cardinals. And he's in Cooperstown now. He's wearing the jacket. He's fine. Nolan Arenado, when all is said and done, when it all shakes out in the laundry, He's going to be a Hall of Famer, and I don't think that this one blip on the radar right now, this season in particular, is going to end that for him.
The guy's got like 10 gold gloves.
Yeah, I mean, you're just going to bypass what he did to start his career?
Yeah, I mean, our Pujols is a... Now, granted, Nolan Arenado's not Albert Pujols by any means, but he had a few bad seasons.
Judge Andrew Marsh said Arenado is Pujols.
I don't care what the next question is. You're getting.
I didn't say anything.
You did.
He said it.
He co-signed it.
He's got to hold himself accountable in his own courtroom.
He's the judge. You just wait till
whatever
we're
you say.
done.
Do whatever I want.
Can and will be used against you, Carey.
Goodness.
Heard
That's
that before.
for us, not him.
Oh, well, no, it should apply, I think.
It should, but it doesn't.
All right.
One more.
You mentioned Scott Rowland. Prove me wrong. The Cardinals need to, this is from the 314. Prove me wrong. The Cardinals need to retire Scott Rowland's number.
I don't know if you retire the number. Here's why. I don't even think Scott Rowland's going to go into the Hall of Fame wearing a Cardinals hat. I think he's going to be going in there. Where did he play? I'm drawing a blank. Cincinnati? No.
Phillies. Was it Phillies? Yeah.
Why am I drawing a blank right now?
I can't remember.
It doesn't matter. I don't think that Scott Rowland goes into the Hall of Fame wearing his Cardinals hat. Therefore, if that's the case, then why would you retire his number? He did some good things here. There's no doubt about it. But did he do so many great things here as a Cardinal? I mean, what did he actually do?
You just used. There was no way. You just gave Scott Rowland all the praise and then come back and just
That's why that was a BS question.
He did it on purpose.
I told you I was giving you the X.
I just put him up on a pedestal. Now I got to drag him down.
Him on down.
Well, the moment you said, well, he's not going to go in with a Cardinal.
Yeah.
He's wearing a Cardinal hat on his plaque. So
I know.
No, it was a lose-lose situation for you.
I tried my best there. Carey just stared at me until I took it.
I told you weren't going to get it. That's why I asked the question. All these fantastic prove me wrong questions. I picked the one that was unwinnable.
Yeah, you screwed me over. Either way, good job, Judge Marshy. We've got our guy BT. He's going to be joining us here when we come back from the break. So Brad Thompson here on 101 ESPN. When it comes time to sell your home, you're going to want a reliable experience and trusted agent. And take it from me, get to know St. Louis's real estate expert. That is Gloria Liu. With your home sold guaranteed realty, here's why you should call. Gloria, well, her name is her promise, and it says it all. Your home sold guaranteed realty. Gloria's mastered the art of selling your home, and by guaranteeing upfront and in writing to sell your home at your agreed upon price and time frame, or she'll buy it herself. She guarantees all of that in handwriting. I don't know of too many agents, or any agents for that matter, that would do that exact thing. And Gloria has solutions for every type of home seller, whether it's sellers who want a fast sale with no hassles. Gloria's multiple cash offer program is a great option to consider. No showings, no costly repairs. You pick the closing date. You always get the highest cash offer to choose from in minutes. And with Gloria Lou, you're going to get to the closing table. So you're going to get the price that you wanted, maybe even multiple offers, maybe even make more money off of it. And that's going to be thanks to Gloria Lou. And all you have to do is give her a call. Her number is 314-325-6888. Again, that's 314-325-6888. Or you can visit gloriahasthebuyers.com. Conditions do apply. Gloria and the seller must agree upon the sales price and possession date.
ESPN Sports Center.
I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for a Sports Center update driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. The Cardinals picked up a win last night, 4-3 over the Tampa Bay Rays. Eric Fetty will take the mound today for the Cards, trying to win 2 games in a row for the Redbirds. Going up against Taj Bradley. First pitch is at 6:45. We have our guy Brad Thompson joining us next for some high heat with BT. So stay tuned for that. We'll dive into your St. Louis Cardinals, and it's coming your way next right here in the Fast Lane. I'm Andrew Marsh, and this Sports Center update is driven by Johnny Londoff Chevrolet and Johnny Londoff Autoplex. See them at londoff.com. Chevy, together we drive. Are you kidding me?
It's time for some high heat with Brad Thompson. Inside and high. Powered by Scott Lee Heating Company, your preferred Mitsubishi Electric elite contractor. Visit ScottLeeHeating.com and by Rawlings. Visit the all-new Rawlings experience at Westport Plaza today.
There's no excuse for Thompson throwing at the head of play.
This is High Heat with BT on 101 ESPN.
It's a Fast Lane here, 101 ESPN. We head out to our celebrity hotline to be joined by World Series champion, former Fast Lane member, now Bally Sports Midwest analyst for your Cardinals games. BT, how we doing, bud?
Gentlemen, I am doing great. How you guys doing today?
We're good.
Great. BT, I have to disagree. Former Fast Lane, no. You're always
Well,
Fast
he's always
Lane.
a member.
Current.
He has a card.
Okay, he's got a membership card.
Yeah.
You still got that. It isn't expired yet, is it? Okay, yeah. I got you.
I feel like as soon as it says former, it's a couple things. One, it just hurts, right? It's just that's painful. And then it makes me feel old, too. Like being former anything is just that hurts a little bit too. So I always feel like I'm a member of the team, and I still listen to you guys all the time. I love listening to you, and you still have fun. And we joke around about this all the time, that we are so lucky to have jobs where we can laugh until we cry at times, and I know you guys do that. Chip and I do the same thing during games, so that's just kind of if you can't have fun doing what we do for a living, shame on you.
I agree.
I agree 100%. BT, I'm going to have you help us clarify a couple of things here. At least one thing.
Oh, easy.
Our guy, Sonny Gray, is actually, he's turned into my new favorite psychopath to pay attention to, watch, and certainly listen to his pressers, because he's so honest and open, and it's almost to a fault. Last night following the game, he discloses to the media that he really appreciated those runs in the second inning because, he was sluggish, didn't feel quite right before the game, and then after that it got him going. You can imagine that our text line and a lot of the fans were wondering, like, how can he be sluggish? How can he not be right? Can you maybe explain what he meant by that?
Well, I think that there are times when you're starting a game and you feel amazing and you have all of your best stuff. There are times that you just feel awful and you're saying, hey, we're going to have to battle. And there are times like where you're just kind of there in the middle. Like, no matter, everybody has days. Sometimes you wake up and you're not feeling the same energy. You're just not feeling quite right. And I kind of feel like maybe that's where he was feeling through it in that first inning. It was such a weird first inning for Sonny. First of all, he never walks anybody. You walk the leadoff guy, and then you give up a home run to the next guy, and all of a sudden you're down 2 runs. You haven't got anybody out, and you end up throwing 30 pitches in that first inning. But the Cardinals punched back, and he responded really well. Sometimes that punch in the face gets you a little bit more fired up and locked in early. So what a fantastic job it was by Sonny. But everybody knows this. Look, you're not always going to have, like, feel your best right away, and the terminology can get tweaked, right? But he just wasn't feeling it early, but locked in. I mean, after that, the second through the 7th inning, he only gave up 3 hits, didn't give up a run, didn't walk anybody, struck out 6, and it only took 76 pitches to get through those 6 innings. So pretty impressive pivot there for Sonny Gray.
BT, Eric Fetty will get his second start in the Cardinals uniform. His first start got roughed up a little bit versus the Cubs in the second inning. What did you see from him, and what do you think is going to allow him to have more success tonight?
Yeah, I think, well, one, I'm guessing he was a little bit pumped up in that ball game, and really specifically early in that ball game, because you hit the nail on the head, Carey. Look, it was the second inning that he gave up the 5 runs, a couple of home runs, and he had talked about the adjustments that he did not make. He was missing up to the arm side, didn't make the adjustments quick enough there in that second inning. But then after that, did a pretty good job again. A guy that turned the page his last 3 innings. He didn't give up a hit, and it only took him 33 pitches. So I expect more of that. Eric Fetty is a pitch maker. This isn't a guy that's totally overpowering. He is a guy that's going to be off the barrel. He's going to use his defense behind him. And he, as you guys have talked about plenty, and we've all talked about since coming back from Korea, he's got a new weapon with that sweeper. I expect him to be aggressive with this lineup, be down in the zone, and get a bunch of ground balls and work fast. So I'm sure that wasn't exactly the entrance that he wanted to make as a Cardinal there in Chicago against the Cubs, but he's got an opportunity against the home crowd to have a good one tonight.
The flip side of that is there's another guy that's had one heck of an entrance back here to the St. Louis Cardinals, and that's our guy Tommy Pham, who's, honestly, I'm not going to lie, he's slowly becoming one of my favorite players to watch. And, what kind of an impact has Tommy Pham had on that clubhouse? Because he's been awesome since he's been here.
Yeah, you talk about favorite psychopaths, and I know you mean that, like, it's in the best way.
Absolutely.
Like, Tommy is one of those guys. Like, Tommy is just so driven. He is incredibly honest. He's blunt. If he's thinking it, he'll say it, and he wants to win. He wants to compete, and he is a guy that you want to see in the lineup. Now, you guys have already done the lineup game, right?
Yes.
Okay, not in the lineup. As you know, today.
I was a little down on Ollie for that.
Bradley.
Not going to lie, Brad.
Yeah, he was very frustrated.
I get it. I will say that Bradley is dominating right-handers. They're hitting like $150 off him on the season, right around 100 in the last 7 games. So you want to load up lefties, but I get it. But Tommy Pham has brought a couple of things. One, just on paper, he's a guy that has hit left-handed pitching, and he has done that. But as you know, in the room, he is a different guy. He's a different energy. You got a few guys. This team does not lack for leadership, but he does it in a different way. This is a guy that is more vocal than maybe some of your other leaders on this club. And I feel like you need energy like that. I think that he brings that, and he brings it with a veteran presence with him. And I think that Mason Wynn, even though he's a rookie, he brings some of that as well, and you can kind of just tell the difference with those couple of guys.
BT, we were talking about Jamie's first goal, first touchdown. Victor Scott got his first home run yesterday. Just talk to us about what that moment meant, and if you could, your first major moment, first win, first strikeout, how that gets you going and how the fans, pump you up after something like that happens.
Yeah, first home run I gave up. It was Robert Smith. Okay,
that's not where we were going, Brad.
That route.
Dead center field. And look, first of many. And yeah, the fans were excited for the season here. No, it was what a moment that is, right? Like you know, growing up. I mean, Victor Scott has been one of the probably the best player on every single team that he has been a part of his entire life. And then he goes out and struggles when he first comes up offensively, hitting under 100. You go down to AAA, and then you have the realization that, okay, I need to make some changes. Yeah, I'm fast, and I play great defense, but I want to be able to hit at this level. And he did, among others, credit our good buddy Ryan Ludwig, who is an advisor for the Cardinals, and he works with outfielders, and he obviously works with the hitters in the organization. And he told him, he's like, man, you need to be more athletic. And we showed it last night during the broadcast, the difference in the swing right now. He's getting a load with his leg. He's staying back better, and he's swinging the bat with an aggression. And I think that we all know this. We've all had to make adjustments in our careers. We've all had to tweak different things to have some success. So it's a credit to him. It's a credit to the hard work that he's put in. And right now, his swing just looks better. It's not just the home run, but when you just watch the swing, there's more intent, there's more power, and there is more athleticism. So he made the adjustment, and I'm guessing for Victor Scott, that's more energy, right? That's more excitement, and that's more confidence. And you know this, as former athletes, the more confidence you have, the better you're going to be.
BT, let's go flip it a little bit here. And Paul Goldschmidt not in the lineup today. To say he's had a up and down or inconsistent season, I mean, I think everybody knows that. I think Goldie himself would admit to that. But with Goldie coming out of the lineup today, is it just simply a day off his feet, or is Ollie looking at other options right now while Goldie still tries to figure things out?
Well, it is a day off his feet. He's over his last 18 with 7 strikeouts. So you're right. It has not been good at all. And we know that he struck out more this year. I think that more than any year, his K rate's higher than any year except for his rookie year, which was just a smidge higher. But this is a playing your matchups, right? This is, hey, lefties don't hit this guy as well as righties. But the part is Goldie in his career has never been a matchup guy. He's going to be in the freaking lineup every single day guy. And that's the tough part, because as we've talked about all season long, this team's going to go as far as some of their bats can bring them. You count on Gold. You count on Arenado. You count on Gorman. And in large part, these guys have not lived up to where they expect to be, and obviously not where Cardinal fans and the Cardinal organization expects them to be offensively. So, it is part of it, right? He ends up taking the day because of a matchup and to give him a breather. Like you got to figure out some way to get himself right, and you just keep hoping, because that's kind of all you can do at this point. And I know that hope is not a strategy, and I can't wait to hear your text line when I talk about hope. I hope, but you have to hope, and for him, you have to believe that an at-bat or a couple of good ones is going to string something together, because he's just been so good, too good his entire career to be having the season that he's having right now.
BT, one more quick one, we'll get you out of here on this, is Nolan Gorman. You know, when he first came up, we all talked about it very honestly, that you'll accept the strikeouts for the pop that he has from the left-handed side. But obviously, Ollie, here recently, I mean, he's sparingly played Nolan Gorman for a while. And even in some situations where, hey, I know nothing about managing a baseball team, but certain situations I look where I thought, man, that could be a Gorman spot, yet the manager or the team didn't go in that direction. What is it that Nolan Gorman needs to work on here to, I guess, regain his spot at second base on a more consistent basis?
Well, and it does come down to consistency overall for him as an offensive player, right? He's kind of fallen back into that striking out. And he's still tied with Alec Burleson for the team lead with 19 home runs. But you're right, they're few and far between. He's sitting there right there at the Mendoza line of 200. And it is hard to plug and play him every day. Now, he hasn't played as much recently because you had the run of lefties. But some of those at-bats, I actually asked Ollie a couple of days ago, and I forget exactly what the matchup was, but it was an at-bat against a right-hander where he went with Carpenter instead of Gorman. And then that's probably one of the matchups you're thinking about where it's, hey, this could be a spot for Gorman to run into one. And the answer was simply, look, we thought that Carpenter could take a better at-bat off the bench. This is a veteran guy that can get the barrel to the ball quickly, and Gorman has got some holes in his swing. But he is very adamant, when I say he, I mean Ollie, that they need to get him going and want to be able to plug him out there as much as possible. And right now, you saw it in the ball game yesterday, the Cardinals were 0 for 6, I think it was, with runners in scoring position. They're 0 for their last 17, by the way. Mm-hmm. At least they're 3 for their last 38, so that's good. But they didn't get any hits with runners in scoring position, but they ran into 2 home runs. Victor Scott ran into one. Obviously, Tommy Pham ran into one as well. And the hope is, with Gorman in the lineup, that he runs into one. I mean, that's kind of what you're looking for, and the hope is that you have a couple of guys on base in front of him. He's not going to hit 300 on the season, probably not going to happen for him, but he is a guy that can still run into the home run, and that's kind of what they're banking on right now with him.
Great stuff, BT. We appreciate your time as always, brother. We'll be tuned in tonight to Bally Sports Midwest. Looking forward to hearing you on the call, and we'll talk to you again next week, my friend.
All right, sound good, fellas. I miss you. Keep having a great show, and I will talk to you next week.
You got it, brother. We miss you, too. Have a good one.
Brother.
All right, see you guys.
All right, that was former Cardinals pitcher Brad Thompson, who joins us here weekly in the Fast Lane with some good stuff there. CD,
Fast Lane member.
I want to get into a couple things that Brad said. We're going to have a little BT reaction time next on 101 ESPN. If you're looking to remodel your kitchen, maybe remodeling your bathroom, or now a lot of people are either fabricating or remodeling their outdoor living spaces, trust me and head down to E&B Granite. They are St. Louis's trusted name when it comes to all renovations. They got a great showroom that's located at 6135 Manchester Avenue. You walk into the showroom. If you know exactly what you're looking to accomplish, that's great. The in-house design staffs can sit down with you and go over all your options. But if you're like me, when I redid my kitchen, I didn't know exactly what I wanted. I wanted to find out, what is trendy right now, what is stuff that people are doing with their kitchen, if there are different looks to it. And the in-house design staff was awesome. And they took me to the back of the warehouse to where they have all of the countertops available. I ended up taking soapstone, was a beautiful piece. And then we ran the backsplash up the wall. None of this stuff I could have done without the help of E&B Granite. And they've got so many great products available for you, and different things, variety of colors, patterns, styles, all this, name it, they've got it over there. But you have to get down there and talk to them or give them a call, book an appointment. It's real easy. Just call 314-645-9300. Again, that number is 314-645-9300, or you can always visit them at enbgranite.com. Wrestling here on 101 ESPN. We just got off the celebrity line with our guy BT, Brad Thompson, and we talked about a few things to do with the Cardinals, but the one thing that I think is intriguing, especially since it's such a hot topic here recently, has been Paul Goldschmidt, and basically asked, like, is this a design day off, or is this hey, you're not hitting the ball at all right now day off type thing? Reset yourself, maybe re-energize yourself. Here's what BT had to say about Paul Goldschmidt.
He's 0 for his last 18 with 7 strikeouts. So you're right. It has not been good at all. And we know that he struck out more this year. I think that more than any year, his K rate's higher than any year except for his rookie year, was just a smidge higher. But this is a playing your matchups, right? This is, hey, lefties don't hit this guy as well as righties. But the part is Goldie in his career has never been a matchup guy. He's going to be in the freaking lineup every single day guy. And that's the tough part, because as we've talked about all season long, this team's going to go as far as some of their bats can bring them. You count on Gold. You count on Arenado. You count on Gorman. And in large part, these guys have not lived up to where they expect to be, and obviously not where Cardinal fans and the Cardinal organization expects them to be offensively. So, it is part of it, right? He ends up taking the day because of a matchup and to give him a breather. Like you got to figure out some way to get himself right, and you just keep hoping, because that's kind of all you can do at this point. And I know that hope is not a strategy, but you have to hope, and for him, you have to believe that an at-bat or a couple of good ones is going to string something together, because he's just been so good, too good his entire career to be having the season that he's having right now.
So, Carey, the thought that comes to mind for me is, and you mentioned it earlier with your lineup that you put together. Where did you have Goldie again in your lineup?
I had him batting fourth.
You had him batting fourth.
Yep.
So you're living and dying by the sword.
Got to.
Is what you're telling me.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter what he does. You're just saying, you know what? He's in.
I feel like if you're going to lose, you're going to lose with your. If I'm going to lose, I'm not going to lose with Paul Goldschmidt on the bench, waiting to pick up a bat and have an opportunity to play. I just, and it might sound crazy based on what he's done so far this year, but based on his track record, based on his career, we talk about him being a potential Hall of Famer. I just don't see him not playing in a must-win, a win-or-go-home series, win-or-go-home situation type of game. He's going to be in the lineup. And, again, the numbers have shown he hasn't been great this year. But when he does get a hold of it, he does pretty good. So it's one of those situations where we've talked about, an aging player, a player that's getting older, a player that is, has had great success in their career, MVP of the league. Like, he has done all of those things, but right now it's not great and it's not fun to watch. But again, in that type of situation where we came up with earlier, where it's a series where you have to win to advance, in my opinion, he's going to be playing.
Yeah, I see the argument there. I see your point in it, and I get it, because even in my lineup, I put him in the 8 hole. Yeah. I just lowered him bottom of the order. If he runs into one, great. Good. You know what I mean? But that's kind of where we are, which is concerning to me, is like, well, if he runs into one, we'll take it.
It's not great. I mean, and I'm sure there's a level of frustration on his end, because when you are such a great player and have had such great success in your career, to not meet or reach the level that he's at right now, to not reach that level that you've had in the past, it's got to be extremely frustrating. I've never been the MVP of a league, and now people are questioning, should I be playing every day? Like, there's a level of confidence that is probably shaken that you or I couldn't understand, because to be so great and to now people question it, it's got to be frustrating. But it is his own doing, and it might be age, it might be ability, taking a step back. But I still believe in him. And I'm sure he believes in himself, in that eventually I'll get it right. No matter how long it's going to take, at some point I'm going to figure this thing out, because the adjustment that needs to be made, I'm one of the best players in the league. I know I will be able to make that adjustment at some point.
I think it also tells a story here for the Cardinals offensively that Paul Goldschmidt's 3rd on the team in home runs.
There you go.
Like, think about that for a second. Gorman, I believe, is tied for 1st with Alec Burleson, I believe. And Gorman has been literally hit or miss.
And hasn't played a lot.
Burley's had more pop than I think we gave him credit for before. But to me, it says something that your offense, nobody else is picking up the slack. Like Paul Goldschmidt is as bad of a year as he's had. He's still third on your team in home runs.
Right. It speaks volumes. It speaks more. It might speak more about where the team is
That's kind
as
of
a
where I'm headed with
whole,
it,
as opposed to what he's doing. Because again, those home runs that he hit in the last couple of weeks were welcomed because he was not hitting the ball very well, was not hitting it very far. But again, Nolan Gorman is some days he's playing, some days he's not. In the last 2 weeks, it's been hit or miss whether or not he was even going to be in the lineup.
Mm-hmm.
Alec Burleson has cooled off. Paul Goldschmidt has been up and down in terms of hitting and obviously the power all season long. Nolan Arenado has been hitting for average, but not much with power. There are a lot of questions in this lineup. And so, if you're asking me, would I have a potential future Hall of Famer sitting on the bench in a must-win situation? No. Because how do you answer that? If you lose that game,
that's the number one question.
How do you answer Paul Goldschmidt, former MVP, not getting an at-bat, not getting 3 or 4 at-bats, not getting those opportunities, and you lost? If you lose with him in the lineup, well, we put our best guys out there. They didn't get it done. Yeah. If I'm going to go down, I'm going to go down with the best guys I got. So
I don't disagree. It's going to be interesting to see how it all plays out. We're going to stick to the celebrity hotline as we're going to have Benjamin Hochman from the Post-Dispatch joining us following the break. And we're going to continue to talk Cardinals with Benjamin Hochman next here on 101 ESPN. Jamie Rivers here. I want to talk to you about my guy Stewie from Stewart's American Mortgage Corporation. And our guy Stewie, he is phenomenal at what he does. Whether you're purchasing a home, refinancing, maybe debt consolidation, Stewie has many options available to you. And his favorite one, his creation, by the way, is the Bagel Loan. The Bagel Loan is their signature loan that covers the typical costs that are associated with closing your loan. And if you borrow $200,000 or more, there are no underwriting fees, no appraisal fees, no title fees, no lender's fees, no closing costs. And if you refinance your home, you can also use the Bagel Loan there as well. And that's because Stewie wants to make sure that he's taking care of everybody the right way. He offers that old school customer service, and he should be your first phone call regarding anything to do with finances. Maybe the mortgage rate that's going on, the interest rates that are out there. Call Stewie, ask him about the interest rates, ask him about the Federal Reserve, ask him about where things are headed. He's going to help you because he cares. And he's our guy. He needs to be your guy. And all you have to do is call him on his personal cell phone number. His number is 314-324-4440. That's 314-324-4440. Or you can always Google the Bagel Loan.
NMLS number 226715.
Wrestling here on 101 ESPN. It's time now to head out to our celebrity hotline, and we're joined today by Benjamin Hochman from the Post-Dispatch, covers all things St. Louis, but right now deep into Cardinals season. Benjamin, how we doing, bud?
I'm good. I'm at Busch Stadium right now. I just saw Randy Orton, the wrestlers, here tonight.
Oh, the Viper himself. You know that Carey Davis went to high school with Randy Orton.
Yeah, Hazelwood Central Hawks.
Two local greats. This is all.
All right, Ben, we have been obviously talking a lot of Cardinals baseball here over the last couple of days, whatnot. Cardinals get a big win last night against the Rays. You know, your overall opinion of the Cardinals here recently.
I think I could sum it up in one word or maybe one sound.
Yeah, it's kind of what we've been doing. Yeah. It's not great.
It's not great. And if you zoom out and look how they've done since the All-Star break and even since the doubleheader against the Royals, it's just been negative stuff. A lot of losses, a lot of poor offensive outpours or lack thereof, a lot of, I guess you could say, some errors and mental miscues from the team. And look, I think this is on paper a team that can win a wild card spot, but they sure aren't playing like a wild card team right now.
Ben, with the runners in scoring position that have been left on base and just the overall lack of consistency offensively for the Cardinals, you know, I know urgency was brought up to Ali Marmol a couple of games ago post-game. But, you know, what is your feeling around that clubhouse? And when you're watching the game, like, what are you seeing?
Yeah, so I actually was the reporter that asked him about the urgency. And look, to his credit, I mean, he speaks highly and honestly about his guys. He feels like they're mentally there. He feels like they do care, and they are working very hard to make sure they can be prepared to get base hits in the game. But they're not getting base hits in the game, and especially when there are other guys on base, which is frustrating. And obviously Turner Ward is in charge of the hitting department over there, so he's a guy you can point a finger at. But the Cardinals also don't hit lefties well, so sometimes when they got a guy on second or third, there's a lefty on the mound, and they're not going to hit him well anyway.
Benjamin, when you asked that question, you followed it up. He said that it's not an urgency issue, and you asked him, what is it? It felt like it was a bit of a cryptic answer. Like, is it execution? Is it talent? What do you think that thing is if it's not urgency that they're lacking?
Yeah, it's a good question. I don't have the exact answer, but I mean, this game comes down to adjustments and execution. Adjustments and execution, and they can make adjustments, but if they can't execute with them, they're going to lose ball games they should win, and they're often in these close games, and they win their share of them, but they lose them too. And now we got Helsley showing some vulnerability the last few times out there, and of course Arenado isn't getting extra base hits. Like Jordan Walker's not even on the team. Like a lot of things they were relying on aren't happening of late.
Ben, you know, Nolan Arenado is a very interesting individual, a very good player. He's having an off year, and it's very well known that he's extremely hard on himself. He's very intense, and sometimes can be his own worst enemy. You know, when you're down there and you're watching the atmosphere around the clubhouse and the interactions and just the overall feel, do you feel like some of that sometimes can maybe rub off on the team in a, not necessarily a negative way, but just a way that's like, man, it starts to create a tension?
I don't know. That's a hard question, and because, I mean, there's 26 guys, right? So how often are they interacting with each other in the course of a day? It really depends. Whereas a basketball team, I used to cover the NBA for many years, and, you know, those guys are kind of in a bubble with each other all day, and if there's one bad apple, one negative guy that can really negatively spill within the team. But I don't think Arenado is necessarily a negative guy. I think he's just a passionate, sometimes over-passionate guy who after games takes batting practice, who lives and breathes baseball. He's kind of a baseball junkie that happens to just be also really, really good at baseball. But whether he's playing hurt or not, I know he spoke to Derek Gould of our paper about that earlier in the season. And the reality is, though, the sad reality is that Nolan Arenado, who's a Hall of Fame slugger, is basically a 2024 singles hitter. He's got 81 singles, the third most in the National League, and he's just not an extra base guy anymore, and that's frustrating, especially when you got him hitting third, fourth, or fifth.
Ben, you mentioned Jordan Walker and him not being here. He is starting to hit the ball really well down in Memphis. OPS over 1,000 in his last 4 or 5 games in the month of August. In his last 10 games, he's been doing really well. Are you hearing anything about his progression and what the thoughts are for him going forward?
It's a great question. Mozeliak spoke to all of us in the media just last week when the trades went down and basically was honest, saying, look, he's got to prove that he's improved. He's got to prove that he can hit consistently at this level. And, of course, that means getting the ball in the air with a high exit velocity while hitting for Memphis. And sure enough, within the past week, small sample size, he's proved it. So, no, I don't have the scoop right now or anything like that he's going to get called up. But at least Jordan Walker is one of my favorite dudes in the organization. At least this good guy is finally getting back into the way that we know he should be hitting.
Yeah, he's certainly looking like he's on the upswing of things. We have Benjamin Hochman here from the Post-Dispatch talking to us here for a few more minutes in the fast lane. Eric Fetty back on the bump, obviously start one. I didn't read much into that. He had a bump in the road there, then he kind of readjusted himself. To me, it wasn't anything that I thought was unexpected for a guy going to his new team. But, down there at the stadium, what do the Cardinals think maybe went wrong in his first start, and what are some of the things that they really liked?
Yeah, well, one of the things they like, and we just spoke to Marmol just a few minutes ago, was they liked how Fetty was like, all right, I stunk. I still need to eat some innings, though. And he did that, and he was honest about that with Marmol, and he saved some arms in the bullpen because he was able to continue to eat innings after starting poorly in his start. His cutter wasn't necessarily where he wanted it to be, as reported in the newspaper the next day, and the home run that he allowed. But I'm like you. I think Fetty's going to pitch well tonight. We're talking about a guy who when he came to St. Louis, had a 3.11 ERA, and he's still at 3.34. He's a guy who is going to pitch really well in a circumstance where he knows that he's pitching a real important game. He was pitching for the White Sox for all those months, and they're literally the worst team in baseball, possibly the worst team in baseball history. No offense to the 62 Mets. So it's definitely cool for Fetty and, of course, Tommy Pham to be here playing games that matter.
Ben, when you're looking at this team, the runners in scoring position, they've had some struggles there, not doing very well. 0 for 6 last night, 0 for 7 against the Mets. I think 3 for 25 against the Cubs. Is that more concerning, or are you more concerned about the 3, 4, and 5 hitters just not producing at the rate that they need to? Or are they all tied together?
Yeah, I mean I'm smiling. I mean they're kind of the same thing, right? You want slugging and RBI production from the middle of the order, and they're just not getting it right now. But yeah, I mean the runners in scoring position thing is really, it's gobsmacking. It's unbelievably low, and I know the Cardinals have benefited from it being unbelievably high. 2012, 2013, those are some historic teams in regards to hitting with runners in scoring position. So maybe it's just the baseball gods evening things out. But no, I wrote my column the other day. It's like, okay, the Cardinals need to buck some trends, but they're 113, 114 games into this thing now. Trends might just be the way things are.
Ben, Tommy Pham has been one of my favorite players here since the Cardinals acquired him. He's producing, he's got the energy, he's got that competitive mentality. What have you seen so far from Tommy Pham? And you're down there in the clubhouse and the guys and whatnot. How is he fitting in with the group overall?
Seems pretty good. Pretty good fit so far. We're talking about a guy who players say is a winner, and he just has that mentality where he you hear this cliche all the time. He hates to lose almost more than he loves to win type thing, and that really is this mentality of Tommy. And so I can imagine what it was like for him being on the Chicago White Sox this year, where he's out there, he got in fights. I mean, he was playing hard, he was taking things seriously, but his team was so bad. So here he is, and honestly, I mean, look, baseball is a sport about getting in your reps, getting in practice, perfecting your swing, perfecting your pitches. But there is some emotion that goes into it. And you could tell when he was talking about the standing ovation that the Cardinals fans gave him in his first at-bat that truly moved him and truly motivated him. And, of course, he hit the grand slam after that, and he's overall been hitting very well ever since.
Yeah, he's been a lot of fun to watch. So, all right, Benjamin, we know you got work to do. We appreciate you once again taking some time to talk with us. You've always got some great stuff for us. We'll talk to you again soon, my friend.
Have a great day. Take care, guys.
All right, thank you very much. That was Benjamin Hochman, Post-Dispatch, writes for the Post-Dispatch, covers Cardinals. There's some Blues articles, covers everything. St. Louis does a great job, and we're thankful for him for taking a few minutes out to talk to us. When we come back, though, there are some things that I wrote down from that conversation with Benjamin Hochman that I'd like to get into following the break, right here on 101 ESPN. Welcome back to the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. We just got off the phone with Benjamin Hochman, writer for the St. Louis Post-Dispatch, and we asked him some questions regarding the Cardinals. And Benjamin Hochman was the reporter that post-game 2 games ago had asked Ollie Marmol about urgency for the team. And so I doubled down on that, and I said, hey, Ben, for you, is it urgency, or what are you seeing with what's going on offensively? And here's what Benjamin Hochman had to say.
This game comes down to adjustments and execution. Adjustments and execution, and they can make adjustments, but if they can't execute with them, they're going to lose ball games they should win, and they're often in these close games, and they win their share of them, but they lose them too. And now we got Helsley showing some vulnerability the last few times out there. And of course, Arenado isn't getting extra base hits. Like Jordan Walker's not even on the team. Like a lot of things they were relying on aren't happening of late.
So, Carey, when we talked about this, I believe it was yesterday, about the urgency surrounding the team, you're like, but after that, the follow-up question, you asked him, and he kind of danced around it, and I had said, I think it's execution.
Right. And I was wondering if it was talent. Yeah,
it's
because
both.
it could be. I mean, and not that they aren't talented, because I think they have plenty of talent. Obviously, you don't make it to the major leagues without having talent, but having talent to execute in that moment when it's required most, it feels like they aren't doing those things. And then obviously, if they were over 6 last night. They got a couple of runs because of the home runs, but they were over 6 last night, over 7 against the Mets. I think they're 3 for 38 in their last 5 games, 6 games with runners in scoring position. That's not great.
No.
And the record is showing that that's why they are or have been where they are, because they're not hitting with runners in scoring position, not doing the little things to bring people across. And it's frustrating. I'm sure it's frustrating as a manager. As a coach, Jamie, you know this. You can put people in the position to do all the great things. I put you right there for the one-timer. You got to shoot it. And hopefully it goes in, or hopefully you got a guy there to tip it in when it bounces off the goalie. You can put them in the right position, but if they aren't making the plays, it doesn't matter. And I think that that's where the Cardinals are right now. They're getting the opportunities, but they just aren't making the plays. And this is coming off of a win last night, but is it sustainable to not hit and not score with runners in scoring position? I don't think it is.
Yeah, listen, it's all about execution, quite honestly. You have to have professional at-bats, especially with runners in scoring position. You can't have a dribbler back to second base or shortstop. You can't have a dribbler go to the pitcher. You can't strike out looking. You have to make contact with the pitch. You got to find a way to get the barrel on the ball and get it in play. Give yourself a chance.
Get it into the outfield.
Something. That would be nice.
Yeah, it would be. Get it out of the infield.
Like lofty expectations right now.
Well,
but
Jamie, I think that's part of the job. I don't know. I think if you're a professional baseball player, you should be able to hit one in the outfield every now and then.
I don't disagree, but baseball players tell me that it's hard to hit a baseball.
I'm sure it is. Round bat, round ball.
Yeah,
seems pretty difficult.
I don't know how they do it. I don't either. We did ask Benjamin Hochman, you did, about Jordan Walker. And because Jordan Walker has been playing very well in Memphis over the last week to 10 days. He's done a great job. You're seeing a lot of the home runs. He pounded a ball 113 miles per hour off the bat. It was for a double, mind you. But you asked him about Jordan Walker, and here's what Benjamin Hochman had to say about that.
Mozeliak spoke to all of us in the media just last week when the trades went down, and basically was honest, saying, look, he's got to prove that he's improved. He's got to prove that he can hit consistently at this level. And, of course, that means getting the ball in the air with a high exit velocity while hitting for Memphis. And sure enough, within the past week, small sample size, he's proved it. So, no, I don't have the scoop right now or anything like that he's going to get called up. But at least Jordan Walker is one of my favorite dudes in the organization. At least this good guy is finally getting back into the way that we know he should be hitting.
I think it's great. I think it's something that they need to see from him, right? One of the main issues was he was hitting the ball into the ground too hard. Now, the exit velo was he was still hitting the ball hard, but not driving it into the gaps over the fence, and that's what you need from that position, from that player. And so hopefully he started to figure some things out. Again, his OPS is over 1,000 for the month of August, 5 games in, but still, he's starting to hit the ball hard, hitting it in gaps, driving runners in. I think that that's what the Cardinals need to see. And how much would you love to have a right-handed bat right now on this roster that can do those things? That's why you went out and traded for Tommy Pham. But if you got a guy that can hit lefties and righties well enough, you know, whether it's on the bench or whether it's starting in right field, I think it'll be a great thing.
Yeah, and so digging a little bit behind the curtains and talking to some people with the Cardinals, you know, we get so fixated on that the Cardinals wanted the launch angle. They did, but the focus wasn't on having a launch angle that had him hit home runs all the time.
Yeah.
The focus was on the launch angle not being straight down into the dirt.
Right.
And yes, he was getting some base hits at the start of last season, but the word on the street is that more often than not, those seeing eye singles that hit the ground 2 feet in front of the home plate and find a way to get a base hit, those go away.
Right.
And more often than not, the fielding from the Major League Baseball players takes over and they get to those balls. Even if they're hit at 110 miles an hour, if the grass and whatever it is slowing it down by the time it gets to you. So that's really what the Cardinals are trying to do, is just change his launch angle from straight down low to just straight, like a line drive.
Yeah.
And then he's going to run into one every now and then, and he has been recently.
Yeah, it was that, and it was also swing and miss. Like, he was chasing a lot of pitches out of the zone that it made you uncomfortable.
That's this year. Yeah.
This year, yeah.
I'm talking last year when the whole launch angle thing started.
Yeah, I think more the reason he got sent down this year was because of the swing and miss. He was chasing pitches, you know, so far out of the zone that he's either not recognizing, not really realizing what is coming his way, and just chasing them. And it's not a pitch that he can hit. So finding where you're comfortable at, hitting pitches that are in the strike zone, swinging at pitches that are in the strike zone, and you're going to have more success than obviously chasing those pitches that are low and away for him.
Yeah, and finally, here, our last little blip here from Benjamin Hochman. We asked him about Eric Fetty and regarding his first start with the Cardinals and, you know, what to expect here moving forward.
Yeah, well, one of the things they liked, and we just spoke to Marmol just a few minutes ago, was they liked how Fetty was like, all right, I stunk. I still need to eat some innings, though. And he did that, and he was honest about that with Marmol, and he saved some arms in the bullpen because he was able to continue to eat innings after starting poorly in his start. His cutter wasn't necessarily where he wanted it to be, as reported in the newspaper the next day, and the home run that he allowed. But I'm like you. I think Fetty's going to pitch well tonight. We're talking about a guy who when he came to St. Louis, had a 3.11 ERA, and he's still at 3.34. He's a guy who is going to pitch really well in a circumstance where he knows that he's pitching a real important game. He was pitching for the White Sox for all those months, and you know, they're literally the worst team in baseball, possibly the worst team in baseball history. No offense to the 62 Mets. So it's definitely cool for Fetty and of course Tommy Pham to be here playing games that matter.
Yeah, so Ben Hochman and myself are kind of on the same page. I think Eric Fetty's going to have a good game tonight. I think that the first game you play for your new team is always the most difficult, and I can't imagine the adjustments that he had to try and make. First start, the pitch calm, you're working with a catcher you haven't worked with before, and again, I'm not blaming the catcher. This is just when you're getting to know but if you're getting to know your teammates. Carey, if you were traded mid-season, you're expected to grab a playbook, learn the call, the terminology. Like, that's a lot more, but still, when you're a pitcher and you're working with another individual who you've never worked with before.
Well, Marshy will tell you Joshua Dobbs did it pretty damn well, right, Marshy?
Yes, how long did that last?
It only lasted a week or two.
Yeah.
He was good for 2 games, and one of them was against the Falcons. Not sure if I count that one.
Yeah.
He didn't know any of the guys' names. He was learning the guys' names as he was under center.
That's like when I got traded at the deadline. Hi, how are you? Nice to meet you.
Jay Rivers.
Yeah, Jay Rivers.
No, it is difficult coming in, and Brad, BT talked about it as well, just being probably amped up your first opportunity on a team that actually has a chance to win a game. Like the Chicago White Sox have been stinking it up. So you're on a new team, you're in a new city, you're in the same city for his first start, but you're on a new team and finally getting a chance with a group that has a chance to win. He probably was hyped up, and so I hope today will be a lot better than it was his first start.
Well, good luck to the Cardinals tonight, who have the Rays. First pitch is around 6:45. 25. But St. Louis Blues, their season right around the corner, and Blues and Brews will be back this season. Join 101 ESPN for the second annual Blues and Brews on Friday evening, September 20th, at the Anheuser-Busch Brewery. Get fired up for Blues season at this outdoor street party featuring live music from country music star Matt Stell and St. Louis's own Charles Glenn Group, plus appearances by Blues players and alumni, food trucks, 101 giveaways, and more. Tickets are just $20 and are on sale now. Learn more at 101ESPN.com. It was a great event last year. It will be a great event again this year. So please check it out. Also, we are in need of a new Beat the Streak contestant. So text in BTS to 314-399-9646. We've got the biggest question of the day, Beat the Streak, and much more coming up here on 101 ESPN. The Londoff family want to make sure that your car buying process is fun. No stress, guaranteed fun, great customer service. The Londoff family been in business for over 80 years, and I have been a customer of Londoff Chevrolet for over 25 years, and the customer service is the number one thing that they offer that I absolutely love. They make the buying experience to be very fun, enjoyable, no stress. They're so helpful, too. My one son purchased his first brand new vehicle from Londoff Chevrolet, and they walked him through the entire process, and he left there knowing exactly what was going on. It was just an awesome experience, and again, just shows you the kind of customer service that they have over at Londoff Chevrolet. And the best part about it is they've got two locations now. The original location in Florissant, Missouri, and the new Londoff Autoplex located out in St. Peters. Both locations have tremendous brand new inventory as well as pre-owned inventory. And if there's anything you need taken care of, just regular maintenance for your vehicle, their service areas are state-of-the-art, and they do such an amazing job over there. Please stop by, visit either location. Please tell them that Jamie Rivers sent you in. But if you can't get there in person, it's easy to get there online. You just have to visit londoff.com or londoffautoplex.com. Are you kidding me?
Johnny Londoff Chevrolet.
101 ESPN Sports Center.
I'm Andrew Marsh. It's time for a Sports Center update brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling. The Cardinals take on the Tampa Bay Rays tonight. First pitch is at 6:45. Eric Fetty on the mound going up against Taj Bradley. We've talked Cardinals baseball all day long. We had interviews with Brad Thompson and Benjamin Hochman. If you missed those interviews or anything from today's show, make sure you go to 101ESPN.com or check out the free 101 mobile app. Just head to the podcast page and you'll find all of those interviews and full shows there. And it's all brought to you by Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers. We have Beat the Streak and Biggest Question of the Day coming up next. I'm Andrew Marsh, and this Sports Center update is brought to you by Saliga Heating and Cooling, an independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer.
To hit baseballs. All of my successes depend on me.
You ready to hit?
The hits just keep on coming.
And his first big league hit is a bullet up the middle.
Welcome back here to the Fast Lane on 101 ESPN. It is time for Beat the Streak. We're heading out to the hotline to welcome in Alex. Alex, how we doing today?
Oh, we're doing great, man. How about yourself?
I'm doing pretty good, buddy. Doing pretty good. Marshy, before we ask Alex for his selection, where are we at here with the standings?
All right, Jamie, you have a 4-game hitting streak. 3 of those have come off the bat of Tommy Pham. Anthony has a 2-game hitting streak. I have a 1-game hitting streak, and Carey is at 0. Unfortunately for FedEx Brian, Wilson Contreras, Alec Burleson did not get a hit yesterday, so we have Alex on the line for Beat the Streak.
All right, so I'll go first here. I'm doubling down. Alec Burleson. Got him for a home run and a hit.
All right.
Beat the Streak. Anthony is taking Yandy Diaz.
Of course he is. Okay. Now who do we have, Marshy?
I am up next. I am going to go with Mason Wynn tonight.
You would. Such a great guy you are.
And then, Carey, are
Alex,
you going?
No, I'll go
Alex
last.
go?
I'll go last.
All right, Alex, who you got, bud?
Well, I was going to go Mason Wynn, but thanks for taking him from me.
Marshy.
It might be a bit of a stretch, but I believe Dylan Carlson's in the game tonight.
Oh, he is.
All right.
Yeah, starting in left field.
Okay, Alex going with
Dylan Carlson.
Dylan Carlson.
I like it.
Okay.
All right, I got to start a new streak here. Give me Wilson Contreras.
Okay.
Hits the ball, he hits it hard.
He does.
Yeah.
All right, there's our picks. Alex, if your guy Dylan Carlson gets a hit, you'll be back here tomorrow to keep playing with us and beat the streak. So good luck to you, my friend.
Thank you. Good luck to all you guys as well.
All right, thanks you
Alex.
very much. All right, Alex, have a good one.
You as well.
All right, Marshy, time for...
It's time for the Fast Lane's biggest question of the day.
All right, gentlemen, we talked to Benjamin Hochman in the 5 o'clock hour, and, he mentioned very briefly Ryan Helsley. And Ryan Helsley has been, in my opinion, kind of sketchy lately. He's been sketchy.
Wow.
And now, he has been great. He's an all-star. Great numbers all season long. But I'm just saying, as of recent, every time he comes in to pitch with the lead, I get a little nervous, right?
Why?
Well, Carey, I just do.
Okay.
Question is your trust in Ryan Helsley to close out games starting to waver?
I don't think overall it's starting to waver because, I mean, we're isolating a couple of moments in a full season where he has absolutely dominated. So is it normal for a closer to have a couple of hiccups every now and then? I've talked to Jason Isringhausen several times about that. Is he? And it happens. And you have to have the memory of a goldfish is, I believe, what they use that to where you just forget about it and move on. So I think that Ryan Helsley, every now and then you're going to get timed up by the other team. My confidence level is still there. I don't see another guy that's able to where I'm giving him the ball to close out the game like that. Like, we got some good guys in the bullpen, but Helsley's like your ace closer.
Yeah.
So my confidence isn't rattled yet. I guess if he has 2 or 3 more blow-ups, maybe we'll have to revisit this. But as of right now, I'm still giving him the ball.
I think I agree with you. I think we had talked about this at one point with him, JoJo, and Kittredge, whether or not they were going to start to be gassed. I think we started to see a little bit of that from JoJo, kind of being worn down and maybe not hitting the spots that we saw him hit earlier in the year. I don't know if we're at that point yet with Ryan Helsley, but I think it's something to consider and keep track of because he's still leading the league in saves, still doing a great job, leading all major leagues in saves. But I think it's something to keep an eye on. I mean, it's something to make sure because he's been the one steady thing all season long, probably the one most consistent player that you can trust all year long, doing a great job. It would probably be him and then Mason Wynn as your top 2 consistent performers all season. So, yeah, I hope he's not running into an issue where he's starting to get fatigued, starting to get worn down the later in the season, because if you plan on making that playoff push, he's going to be a vital part of this roster to make sure that happens.
Yeah, I agree with that. And look, there were some discussions. I was listening to, I think it was MLB Radio, and forget who it was. They were talking about Ryan Helsley, and the one host or whatever had alluded to the fact that maybe Ryan Helsley's been tipping pitches recently. So, yeah, we'll see. But most of the time in those situations, your team as well is evaluating everything on the video, and your pitching coach and other people, even the other pitchers will be, hey, man, like, when you're bringing that slider, your hand drops a little, or you're tipping your pitch a little bit. So we'll see if the Cardinals try to work that out. We'll see if it's even true. I don't know. This was just speculation, of course. I don't think they had any information from the opposing teams that said, oh, yeah, he's tipping his pitches, because they probably wouldn't say anything anyways. They just keep trying to hit the ball really hard.
Yeah.
But no, I'm not nervous about Ryan Helsley. I think Ryan Helsley's finally in a spot to where he's comfortable. You know, for a couple of years, it's like he had this dynamic arm and this great ability, but it's like not every situation was ideal for him. And I think that since Ollie and the staff have agreed that he is just a closer, we're going to give him a clean slate, nobody on base. We're going to give him the ball. I know he has thrived in that position. So good on Ryan Helsley. All right, we've got one more segment to go here in the Fast Lane. That is our Bet the Board. 3 stars of the day, criticisms, compliments, and a little bit of a recap of everything we talked about here today. All that coming up next, right here on 101 ESPN. Fellas, let me talk to you about my friends over at Mentality. First of all, it's inevitable that at some point in life, as men, we start to have a lower testosterone. It just happens. And it happened at any age. There's no specific time that it happens, but when it happens, you will know it. You will feel it. You're tired. You're irritable. You don't have that energy. You've got that few extra pounds that you can't get rid of, or maybe you don't want to get back in the gym. All of those things can be signs of low testosterone, which means we got to get you back to where you were. And that's where Mentality comes in. You go and talk to my friends over there. The board-certified physicians will sit down with you, ask you questions, talk to you about things, and then ask you about what your goals are by visiting Mentality. Then they do a full blood panel. And that blood panel, guess what, boys? It doesn't lie. It tells you everything you need to know, which is great, because at that point, Mentality can create a very specific program that is designed just for you. And if you're low in testosterone, well, they'll fix that. If there's vitamin D, vitamin B, whatever it is, they'll fix that as well. And I promise you, ask them about the peptide therapy. It is fantastic. Any old injuries or old surgeries that are sore, this is going to take some of that pain away. It helps with your sleep patterns too. All of that is available at Mentality. And fellas, all of it can be available through your insurance company. So check with your insurance company as well. But make sure you stop by the South County location or the Chesterfield location. Tell them that Anthony and Jamie sent you in. And if you can't get there in person or you need more information, all you have to do is visit lowtusa.com. Fast Lane here on 101 ESPN. If you missed anything from the show today where we talked about the Cardinals newcomers providing offense, we talked about our guys Paul Goldschmidt, Jordan Walker. We had a great interview with Brad Thompson. We also had Benjamin Hochman come on, and we discussed a whole bunch of things. Cardinals heavy. Eric Fetty was also discussed, and we also put our lineups together today. Our poll? I don't know. Marshy, did you check your poll?
Yeah, you guys want the results of the poll?
Let's get the results of that right now.
So I don't think a ton of people
they didn't get on your poll,
on
Marshy?
the poll today.
Today.
Only 35.
Okay.
Should we extend the poll for another 24 hours? Can we extend it?
You hope We
What is it sitting at right now?
Jamie, your lineup and my lineup, which happened to be the same lineup, 77% to Carey's 23%.
I think the low voter turnout is an issue.
Oh my God! Where have I heard that before?
The low voter turnout.
My goodness!
You got to get people to the polls.
Well, I tell you what, you can
to the poll.
You can tune into the podcast and listen to us as we whittled our way through what we thought was our best lineup available. And you go to 101 ESPN mobile app, download the podcast, or you can go to 101ESPN.com and download the podcast there. All of that brought to you, of course, by our great friends at Dobbs Tire and Auto. All right, it's time for Bet the Board. Marshy, what do we got here? I think Carey's still in the lead, I believe.
Yeah, so Carey has 3 points. Jamie, you have 2. And Anthony picked up a point last night. I'm still at 0. So,
sorry,
not great. At all.
Carey, who's your 1.5 bags pick today?
Well, they don't have a lineup out, but it is on Prime, so I'm going to assume these guys are playing. Aaron Judge, 1.5 hits, runs, RBIs. He's minus 145, I believe. 140.
Alrighty.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's going to go with Juan Soto, but,
Okay. Jackson Holiday, by the way, he has been on fire for the Orioles.
Okay.
And that's where I'm headed. I got the Orioles money line over the Toronto Blue Jays. It's at minus 135. So go Birds. Orioles, of course.
I'm looking at Anthony's Bet the Board pick. He is going with Eric Fetty under 5.5 strikeouts at minus 136.
Not very positive from Anthony.
Fetty, well, he's going to get a lot of double plays.
Uh-huh.
He's going to possibly get a guy on.
I don't like the bet.
Double him up.
I don't like it.
He didn't say how many runs. He said under strikeouts. 0 runs.
That'd be nice.
Fetty Wap.
That'd be nice. Marshy, what's your play?
I'm going to take the Cardinals Tampa Bay Rays under 7.5. Under 7.5. That is my play today, so I'm sure we'll have a blowout. Well, not a blowout, but a high-scoring game. High-scoring game tonight.
All right. Time for criticisms and compliments. Andrew, be nice to us.
Yes, this one's coming from Jamie's Vacation Speedo. Criticism is I have to wait till 2 o'clock for your show every day. Compliment is your show is the best. You all do great to add humor to the show while still talking about the facts and sharing your own opinions. Whether or not the co-host/fans agree with you, keep it up, guys.
Well,
appreciate that.
We appreciate that very much, and it's one thing we try to do is keep it real here in the fast lane. Our opinions are our own, and they're real, and sometimes we don't agree, and it just is what it is.
Yeah.
We have a message from Lisa. Have a good night, guys. And remember, if all the stations at your network stunk, John, your big boss, would be held accountable. Hire Skip and give him a voice. He is a winner.
How's Skip doing this year?
Maybe not so much this year.
How's he doing this year?
What's their record?
Let's see here.
How many games have they won?
Not many. Let's see. The Miami Marlins are 42-72.
I'm going to ask if they got to.
This goes back to me. Lisa, this is my hot button, and you know it. This goes back to, so Skip had a good season last year, right? So did Ollie Marmol his first year. Ollie Marmol has a bad year last year, and everybody's talking about, should have kept Skip, but get rid of Ollie. All this stuff. Skip, he's a winner. He's a this. So, but look at Skip's year this year. So how does Skip Schumacher avoid the criticism of having a good year that makes the playoffs and then the next year stinking and being last in your division? How does he avoid the criticism?
It's a very good question. I
mean, just because he played Major League games?
Listen, because they are...
That doesn't count.
We're not in Miami either. We don't know what they're saying about Skip down there. They may be ready to fire him right now.
They might be.
You know?
Who knows?
Maybe they are...
Minus 153 run differential.
Oh, we complain about minus 40 here.
Yeah, I'll take minus 40.
That's not great.
Anyways, that's always a hot button for me because I love Skip. He was a winning baseball player. I don't know if he's a winning baseball manager yet. And to just anoint him as like Ollie's replacement, I just don't know.
Nah.
From the 636, whose show is this now that Anthony is gone for the week? Y'all are doing a great job holding down the fort on what we all know is Anthony's show, The Fast Lane. You guys are the best. Great show as always.
Well, we appreciate that. And it's still Anthony's show. We had to sign a paper before he left.
Yeah, asked about an NDA when I was like, what is this for? He said, just sign it.
Just sign it.
Okay.
And so we did. Foolishly, we just signed it without even reading it.
I didn't read it.
Yeah.
You told me it was okay, so I trusted you.
I didn't have my glasses on, so it was tough. Yeah, I just
didn't know what we signed off on.
Trusted Anthony.
Yeah, come back with more rules.
Yeah, who knows? Maybe my bank account is empty right now. I'm not sure.
You got to check that.
No, we appreciate you guys listening for sure. And when Anthony comes back, I'll gladly hand the wheel back to him. It's a little more cumbersome when you're driving. I can't be as much of a smartass as I'd like to be because I have to try and stay focused. And
yeah, you can't ask what's happening next. Like, you have to be dialed in. I still ask because,
yeah.
What do I know?
I usually have like some kind of like stupidity to add to it, but it's much harder when you're thinking about like what's coming next. So Anthony, just get back safe and sound. We hope you're having a great vacation, and you can have the wheel back on Monday.
From the 937, get a new Twitter name, _Marshy Marsh _.
I agree. It's too hard to figure out. That's why the voter, he suppressed the votes. What is the...
He's using all the buzzwords.
He suppressed the votes.
This is my Twitter name.
Why the underscore?
Who knows how
_Marshy Marsh _. What is it?
My
Instagram
Marshy Marsh _Marshy Marsh _
Why the underscores?
Too hard.
Why don't you have Marshy Marsh?
Because it...
was it taken?
It was taken.
Well, you don't know that. You just...
No, I tried it because it used to be Marshy Marsh 51, and then I tried to change it. I just wanted to get rid of the number because I wanted to make it more cohesive with my Instagram handle, which is _Andrew Marsh _.
And what's your handle for Instagram?
I just said it.
Oh,
yes.
So I thought you were describing the Twitter.
There's a lot of questions about his handle.
Yeah, well, you had a poll today and handle over
handles. There. Yeah. Speaking of Marshy's poll, third star of the day goes to Marshy's poll.
As always. It should.
Carey probably doesn't think so.
Disagree.
Oh, Carey's just mad. This is where he starts to pout.
Second star of the day goes out to pulling out of a bet when it's time to cash it out.
It is a very important.
Yes.
It's a discipline to be able to pull out at the right time. So that you don't get burned.
Here's the thing: you can use protection, like the you can have protection for
the insurance. They call it the bet insurance.
Right.
Not all bets have the insurance,
but it protects your investment so you can stay in.
Yeah, it's still dangerous to just leave it in.
Okay,
I think it's good to pull it out at least every now and then.
Well, you want to get paid.
You want to get paid.
Yeah,
not have
if I pull out every 5 games, I'm getting paid, right?
Probably.
Yeah, we're fine.
Maybe not.
First star of the day goes out to the Freedom Bird.
Oh, yeah. Not Jamie's.
Yeah, why not?
Nah.
All good Canadians like the Freedom Bird, Carey. All right, that does it for us here today in the Fast Lane. We really appreciate you guys listening. We look forward to hopefully a Cardinals win tonight and talking about all of that with you guys tomorrow. We'll see you then. See ya.